The fifth and final night of the second week of the third term on the platforms of the Gentleman Sim Racing Club across Facebook, Twitch and YouTube. Actually, no. Twitch is no more. I'm still getting out of that bad habit. I was only informed earlier in the week that Adam Lavis hasn't been broadcasting on that platform for nearly a year. It is what it is. But still, Facebook and YouTube are your friends if you want to tune in and join us for Open World Night on the platforms of the Gentleman Sim Racing Club and Friday Night Motorsport. And you've already been given an insight into where we're going for the main course tonight, but the entree takes us back to where we started last night's proceedings as well. But to the top of the circuit, not the bottom. We're on the west configuration last night at Shell V-Power Motorsport Park at the Bend in South Australia. Tonight, we are on the east configuration for round 2 of the Formula Ford Series. Good evening, everybody. Zach Cabin and Joe Baldwin with you. Welcome to Friday Night Motorsport on the GSRC platforms. Sam Stride, thank you. Yes. Drive by from Stride in the first minute. That sets the tone for the rest of the night, doesn't it? No, dead set. Legit. We got off air Monday night and Adam Lavis says to me, Joe Baldwin, I've been meaning to tell you, I haven't been streaming on Twitch for a year. It's extraordinary. Old habits die hard, as they say. 2 o'clock in the afternoon, heat one about to get underway here. 15-kilometre-hour winds, 19 degrees in the air, 22 on track. Dry conditions at the Bend in South Australia. You can't see that course at the moment because iRacing is still dotting the I's and crossing the T's with regards to some of the graphic detail. With this facility, not least finding the funds to fly Barney out here to wave the bloody checkered flag. The grid looks like this. It's Rodney Gollan on pole position alongside Derek Fitzgerald, Adam Lavis and Doug Gowans, the second row, Phil King and Taylor Oakes, the third row. Then you've got David Baz on the fourth row alongside Tony Baker, Arjun Derjaj and Dan Bardish make up the top 10. The second bunch of 8, we've only got 18 on the grid tonight. Russell Gander, Martin Lipsky, then Sam Katakazinas and Eduardo Zamora. Joe Baldwin is not starting because he's here in the broadcast booth with me. But Chris Stark, Mark Bowman and Jackson Fischler are, and we are set to rock and roll. It's going to be a big night. We've got NRL and AFL to stay across as well with regards to score updates. She would be cold as a stepmother's kiss there at the Bend right now. It gets awfully breezy. Well, you know my thoughts on South Australia and the chill factor there at the best of times, Stridey. So, yep, I'm inclined to agree with you. Joe Baldwin, good evening to you. It'll be interesting to see how this East Circuit plays. Of course, the West Circuit produced some great Formula V racing last night, which you were a part of course. And this part of the circuit also encompasses that extension of the circuit beyond what they race on the supercars, the full-length 7.77 kilometre top end of the circuit that we've only seen used once or twice at professional level. It'll be interesting to see how the Formula Fords go tonight. We're standing by for a start. The championship points coming into the round. Adam Lavis on top, 61. Braden Sagasta, 55. Art Baz, 50. Jeff Adams and David Baz on 49 points. There are a couple of those missing from the grid tonight. We are ready to go nonetheless. 17 starters. The newest track on the iRacing server. It is the Bend Motorsport Park. It is Friday Night Motorsport on the platforms of the GSRC. Let's go to work. Good start, Rodney Gollan. Good start, Derek Fitzgerald, Doug Gowans and Adam Lavis side by side on the run down towards turn 1. Does this have the corner that caused all the controversy last night? No, I don't think so. Because this is the top half. This is the top half of the circuit, Joe. Good evening to you.
Good evening. They could have called it the bloody Maze Motorsport Park. There's that many corners and that many different configurations here. You need a bloody mud map every time you drive out of the pits at this place. Who knows where it goes? But look, it's a great venue. It's actually put on some good racing. It was a bit of a handful in the Ferrari the other night. Ah, my creature's going, is it? It is too. Sorry about that, gentlemen. Yeah, in the V's last night, it was a fantastic version of the track. I thoroughly enjoyed it. So, yeah, interesting to see how the guys go on this version of the track tonight.
It's even got its own pit lane up the top end of the circuit there. We found that out a few moments ago. Through we go. Clean start except for Martin Lipsky and Russell Gander. They've both had an off-track moment, skirmish, so they've dropped to the bottom of the order. Remember, top 10 invert for the second race. His first heat is 15 minutes, the second is 25. And this is what happened to Martin Lipsky first up. Super Formula from the Nurburgring to follow this one, ladies and gentlemen. Another 4-race program for you tonight across Facebook and YouTube. And we're here till about 10:30 Eastern Standard Time. This... Oh, Adam Lavis to second, gets by Derek Fitzgerald and goes to second. This is Taylor Oakes on screen now, chasing Dan Bardish. Sam Katakazinas has been passed by Chris Stark as well. Round onto the main straight of the East Circuit, right up the back of the Ben Motorsport Park. I can't wait to get the track maps out and show you the difference between the four configurations, folks, for those of you that aren't familiar with the real estate there. Of course, some of this circuit will look familiar to you with regards to... Oh, trouble for the two lead, for the Stark and Katakazinas. They've come together. Mark Bowman as well, caught up inadvertently as a bystander and all of that. That was for the lower part of the order there. Those guys would have been in contention to fight for an invert pole position, now not.
Jared Fish has been involved in it as well. He's...
Oh, yeah. Jackson inadvertently got caught up, but he got away with it, Joe. He didn't get taken onto the grass.
Oh, here we go. Having a hissy fit. One yesterday.
Oh, dear. I'll say nothing at this particular point in time. For the benefit of those of you that are joining us, 4 different producers, 4 different nights of the week, but I'm here 3 of them. There goes Starkey again. The rear end snaps and sends him across the track. That will be a hefty slowdown that comes with that as well, because he shortcut the circuit. So, yes, I was here last night with Matt Schmidtke, here Monday night with Adam Lavis, here tonight with Joe Baldwin as well. Nowhere else I'd rather be on a Friday night. It's good to be back, actually, after missing last week in transit back from the New South Wales Hunter Valley. I just got confirmation earlier today, Joe, that I've got another gig down there on the 13th and 14th of September. It's a one-dayer. It's the 14th. So my idea is, Arjun Derjaz and David Daz arguing over the same piece of real estate at the moment. I've decided that if they're willing to fly me down, which they are, it means I can do the grand finale for Term 3 here on the Friday night, get an early flight the Saturday morning, get down to Sydney. I'm not sure that Starkey would be saying anything that's PG rated right now. Try it. You're right.
Wouldn't. We'll jump on board and have a look at.
Probably a good idea that you did turn that crew chief off, Joe.
Yeah. He's just got the rear loose. Yeah.
And of course, remembering when we get to grand final night here in September, night 5 of week 10 takes us to Suzuka for the Super Formula and to Mount Panorama for these guys in the Formula Ford. So a big grand final night there on the 12th. It was nice, actually, to be able to fill a vacancy in my schedule with the trip to Sydney. And even better that I don't have to do the heavy lifting of driving all the way down there. Derek Fitzgerald nearly getting away with it. Now, Rodney Gollan, Derek Fitzgerald, and Adam Lavis, 1, 2, 3. Gollan's lead is 2.2 seconds. He has bolted. He is gone. There's the main straight of the West Circuit for you, ladies and gentlemen. Not sure how we managed to get over there. There's Tony Baker in 5th place at the moment.
So what is the camera packs with circuits like this with different configurations of that? Sometimes you'll hit to look at a camera and it just goes, nowhere. It doesn't know what it's looking at. So thanks, iRacing.
Yeah, exactly. Thanks indeed. So the West, this configuration of the circuit, the East Circuit, so the West Circuit essentially last night encompassed turns 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 of the supercar circuit. Then you cut through to what is essentially a 6th corner and then rejoin for the last 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 corners of the supercars lap. The full circuit itself, 35 corners, 7.77 kilometres. And as we said, 4 different configurations. Baz has managed to salvage that somehow, but Arjun Derjaz has not, Joe. So he's off the road and plummeting down the order. No pit stops so far, but there have been some drivers, including Arjun Derjaz, with an unsafe rejoin, getting a 5-second penalty. There have been a few drivers slipped to the bottom of the order to try and reset and go again. The GT circuit here is the second longest permanent racetrack in the world, behind the famed Nurburgring Nordschleife. And it's only one of 4 permanent race circuits with an official length over 7,000 metres. The others being, obviously, the Nurburgring, the Utah Motorsport Park, formerly known as Miller Motorsport Park in the United States, and, of course, the 7,004-metre Spa-Francorchamps circuit. But, yeah, an exorbitant amount of different configurations around here. And this, I'm just trying to do the mathematics because, again, Wikipedia doesn't even have all 4 track maps. It has just the big one. So this circuit here, remembering that there's 2 straights that are left out of these 2 configurations. So you've got essentially turn 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, 21, 22, 23, 24, 25, 26, 27, 28. And then there's another 1, 2, 3 attached to that. So, oh, geez, I rather off 20 corners there. So this configuration of the circuit is 23 corners in its own right. 1 minute 37.845 for Derek Fitzgerald, the fastest lap of the race. So, yes, this is the more technical of the short circuits. Not far from the Bend is one of the biggest kart tracks in the country as well. Absolutely. Absolutely, Ciders.
And not far from the Bend too is one of Australia's, well, actually not one of, it is Australia's newest and one of the biggest speedway tracks in Bordertown, which is about 2 hours east of Taylor Bend. Hour and a half, hour and 45 minutes, I suppose, east. Some good racing.
Good move from Taylor Oaks to get on the inside of Tony Baker. We'll go back to talking about the racing now, shall we? Now, it's important to note as well, Joe, white flag in the air next time by, figuratively speaking, because Barney's nowhere to be. Yeah. Sorry. I'm wrong because I'm so used to it being a 10-minute opening race, not 15. Sorry. Oh. No, I'm getting ahead of myself there. So at the line on those numbers, you're probably looking at 4 laps to go. And potentially a bit of overtime attached to it as well. Because it's not a clear cut. It's not a clear cut 9 or 10 seconds lap. It's 1 minute 37 point this that. So it's probably looking at 11 laps with a bit of overtime attached to it as well. Actually, no, it'll be 10. It'll be 10 with a little bit of overtime attached to it. So we've got another lap in the books this time through for Rodney Gollan. And he is clocking at, because remember, 1 minute 30 and 2 is 3. Times that by 5, you get 15. So 3 goes into 15 5 times, 2 goes into 10 5 times, and 2 goes into 3 for the amount of laps here. So you're probably looking at a good solid minute of overtime for this opening heat. Rodney Gollan, the leader. Adam Lavis, 1.7 in arrears, under real serious pressure from Derek Fitzgerald. Doug Gowans, Taylor Oaks, Tony Baker, Dan Bardish, and then David Baz, Russell Gander, Phil King, Eduardo Zamora, and Sam Katakazinas. The trip up for me there, Joe, I'm so used to when I'm calling open wheelers, especially like last night being Formula V, the first race there is 10, not 15.
Correct,
so that's
10, 15, and 15 with the Vs.
It's a trap for early players, isn't it? And I've been here 5 years and I'm still tripping up. But that's okay. 3 laps to go at the line. Oh, no, thanks. You can have that all to yourself. Gollan, Lavis, and Fitzgerald. Closest battle on the racetrack is the one you're watching right now, folks. Behind that, Taylor Oaks, Tony Baker, and Dan Bardish are having a good ding-dong scrap as well. Remember, it is a top 10 invert for the second race. Invert position being held by Phil King at the moment. Russell Gander just ahead of him. Chris Stark on pit lane at the end of 7 laps. Jackson Fischler also now on pit lane as well. So Fischler's night is done. Play underway at the Gabba between the Lions and the Bulldogs as well. So I'll keep you posted for some Friday night footy scores as we go, Joe.
Yeah, I was just watching that sequence of events for Mav. He he went a bit deep and red and wide on one corner, and it took about 8 corners for him to actually get it back under control. Like, it's such a... I mean, it's always hard too, you know, when you get a new venue like this, trying to learn the circuit with each individual car and what it takes to get around, you know, the fast line, I guess. Like in the V's last night was classic. I think I qualified second last, and by the end of race 3, I was running the same. Well, not by the end of it, because by the middle of race 3, I was sort of running the same pace as what the guys that qualified up the front were, Chapo and them guys. But it's a matter of learning the tracks, and this track in particular doesn't have a lot of landmarks when you're out there, because it's got a bit of undulation and whatnot, but there's not a lot of big standout landmarks like you've got at Road America, Road Atlanta, or just different tracks with markers. And VIR is a great one. There's a lot of natural landmarks around there which help you. This is a good battle going on here. Derek's up trying to get up around the outside of Matt. He's a bit clever for that. It's a bit deep. Derek's certainly piling the pressure on. He's probably only got another 2 laps to get the job done. Actually, they probably near ultimate lap this time. We've got no track map because the track's so new. Yeah, good evening, Craig. Because the track's so new, it's we don't actually have a track map from SDK yet, so we just got to go off what we can.
Now, it's interesting as well. The big event in global sport this weekend is the British and Irish Lions against the Wallabies at Suncorp Stadium tomorrow night. Here more locally, I've got some breaking news coming through from pit lane. Jackson Fischler reporting that he got taken out, so he's left. He's just cracked it. He spat the dummy and said, see you later. Even though there's a second race to come, Fischler's had enough. So, and good evening to Craig Bond on that note as well, who was chiming in wondering if any of his teammates were racing tonight. He's found out that, yes, they were, keyword being were, and he's even copped a 5-second penalty for added insult to injury there, Jackson Fischler, for avoidable contact with Mark Bowman on lap 2. So the incident that is in question was lap 7. But yeah. Oliver Fitzgerald and gone! He got into the back of Adam Lavis! Lavis gets away scot-free, but Fitzgerald is gone!
Weirdly enough,
wow,
that didn't actually come up on my... Oh, here we go. Derek's got back. Yeah. So we'll have a look at this one from the outside. Got in close, and I think he's probably... yeah, a little bit too much overlap there. I think he's just hooked the back of Ads' car and unsettled his, and in grabbing the brake, it's just waited and spat him off to the outside. So unlucky for Derek. That was a pretty good battle right up to that point.
Indeed it was. Off track goes Taylor Oakes now as well. He rejoins in 4th. Tony Baker now putting the pressure on him, and he's got David Baz for company as well. Apart from that, see, this is the thing. Formula V was still exciting to this point of their first race. White flag in the air, one more time around. Rodney Golan is on his way home. He's got a commanding lead at the moment. 2 seconds on Adam Lavis, who'll be content with 2nd. Doug Gowans is 3rd. Taylor Oakes, Tony Baker, and David Baz. Changing of the mould for Rodney Golan here, Joe, because normally we're used to seeing him, you know, ply his trade from the converting from the invert. He's going to be starting 10th this time through if he can hold on here and win a sprint race. So nice to see a change to the narrative for him. 5-second penalty for Chris Stark for the unsafe rejoin on Sam Katakazinas as well. So penalties coming through thick and fast there. I'm just actually having a little bo peep here. Scott Jordison is down in race control with Liam Haycock and Tommy Cole as well. So we appreciate those guys jumping on in. Golan, Lavis, Gowans, Oakes. Oakes and Baz, the only real battle in the top 10 at the moment. Everything else really, spread out. A little bit elongated and processional at this point. But this guy's been magnificent in the opening race. Rodney Golan, clinical performance from first until last. Checkered flag will be out for him this time by victory in race 1. And on the back of last week where we saw victories for Adam Lavis and also David Baz, it's 3 races and 3 different winners in the GSRC Formula Ford Series to get Term 2 underway. Second to Lavis, continuing his consistent run. Second podium finish of the season for him. Third to Dougie Gowans. Fourth to Taylor Oakeshill. Held off David Baz and Tony Baker. And then Derek Fitzgerald and Dan Bartish has come unstuck on the run to the checkered flag. No further action due to net code for Eduardo Zamora and Arjun Derjaj. It's appropriate that our Chilean and Italian member have a net code issue. It's not just Australia, it would seem. And through they come. Fitzgerald recovered for 7th. Bartish, King and Gander. And that's a little bit too spread out for my liking, Joe, but you put it down to a couple of things. One, the size of the field is depleted based on what we saw last week. Secondly, when you also consider where we're at with regards to GSRC Formula Ford, the fact that we've thrown them on a new bit of bitumen, a new playing field, it's an equaliser, isn't it? It's an unknown entity, and there's going to be that teething period where everybody's trying to get their head around it.
Yeah, well, and that's what I'm saying. Like, even in the V's last night, I did 20 minutes practice and just didn't get any better. But nothing helps you to learn a racetrack better than actually racing. Like when you get in and it's going to help some of the guys that finish at the back of the 10 here that may be struggling to learn the track. They're going to have the faster guys behind them now. They're going to get by them, and they can actually watch their lines and their braking markers and that sort of stuff. And it just helps them to learn the track a little bit quicker. So we should see a bit better racing in the second one. I know Dan Catechizernis, he wouldn't be liking being out of the top 10 there. So look to see him move forward. He's always a bit of a tough customer. Eduardo Zamora is another one back there that you see up front. And Starkey, I'm sure he won't be 4 laps down in the next.
No, I wouldn't imagine so. He'll be looking for some sort of redemption. It's all made possible for you, ladies and gentlemen, with thanks to the great people at Waste Options and Spreyton Cider and Trophy AI, Pantech Industries, and also merch.tgsrci.com and Flash Graphics. They're the people that support the platforms of the GSRC through 2025's third term. Lions at the Gabba have put themselves ahead of the Bulldogs early in the first quarter, 13 plays 12. NRL earlier this evening. We're getting ready for kickoff in the second match, of course, but the first match played tonight was between the Bulldogs, the Roosters and the Sharks. The Panthers and the Rabbitohs still to come. The Sharks 31-18 winners there over the Roosters at Shark Park. The British Open third round is underway. Second round is underway in Ireland, the golf, and of course we've got another stage at the Tour de France coming up tonight as well. That's the itinerary for Formula Ford, ladies and gentlemen. That's where we're going this term. The East Course at the Bend this evening, then off to Phillip Island next week, then to Summit Point, then Circuit de Lebanon, Circuit de Navarra. Lebanon's that dicky little track in France that we've seen seldom on the platforms of the GSRC. Circuit Zolder in Belgium for week 7, week 8 at Donington on the national course. We're back here in week 9 because there aren't enough tracks to choose from, obviously. So we'll go on the West course in week 9 and then finish at Mount Panorama in week 10. Now, the other point that we want to get to is that we've got a 25-minute race here. We've got Russell Gander alongside Phil King on the front row. We're at 4 o'clock in the afternoon, 18 kilometre an hour winds, 19 degrees the ambient, 20 on track, partly cloudy conditions, 75% humidity. Winds are at 19 kilometres an hour in a mostly northwesterly direction. Gander and King, Bartish and Fitzgerald, Baker and Baz, Oakes and Gowans, Lavis and Goll on the top 10. Only 15 starters this time round. No Fischler, no Stark, no Baldwin, of course. Baldwin in the booth with me. So that just leaves Katakazina, Slipsky, Zamora, Derjaj and Bowman to round out this field. At the halftime break between this server and our trip to the Nurburgring for Super Formula with thanks to Spreyton Cider, we'll have not just the wheelie spins, but also the points from the Porsche Cup at the end of last night's second round. Off and racing in race 2 of the Formula Fords. Let's go. Hopefully a little bit more of a livelier affair than what we saw earlier in race 1. Good clean start. Everybody safely through the first corner so far. Lipsky lost out to Derjaj. Derjaj got up 2 spots. And Fitzgerald's up 2 spots as well.
Not hanging about.
No point in doing that. You want to get to the front, lead from the front and give yourself a bit of a buffer and let everybody else squabble behind you, Joe.
Oh, definitely. And, I mean, he had the pace in the first one. He just couldn't quite get around Mav. They were every bit as fast as each other in that one. So if he can get a clean pair of heels here and get around Russell early, I'd expect him to put a little bit of sunshine between him and the faster guys as they're coming through the back. So, but in saying that, Russell's showing a fair bit of pace in weeks gone by. As we got out in the by there, Martin Lipsky. It's out into the dirt, dumps to the back of the field. So that's not a good start for Martin.
Not at all. Early mistakes are costly here. We saw that in race one. If you make a mistake early in the piece, Joe, you're a sitting duck. You're essentially not going to catch the pack, even with strategy potentially coming into this one.
Yeah, definitely. And I mean, in the V's last night was exactly the same. You know, he got caught up in an incident on lap one and just drove around the back of the... Oh, no! Scander's off on his own.
Yep. And did well to keep it off the wall, I think you'll find. He's not the only one. Dan Bardish as well.
Oh, they're all throwing it
They're
away on the
going
cold
off
tyres.
everywhere. There's a bit of lawn mowing going on at the bend tonight. Or is it whippersnipping because it's Formula Ford? I'm not sure.
Brush cutters.
The tyres aren't as wide. Fitzgerald and King at the end of the opening lap. Fitzgerald's done what he needed to do and got to the front of the field. 3 positions up on where he started. 3 also gained for Doug Gowans and Rodney Golan, and 4 for Arjun Durjas and 3 for Bowman. And that was the moment for Gander. And that grass, it's like lava. It's like slipping on oil. As soon as you hit it, you're a passenger, even in the dry.
Yeah, Dan just ran in deep and thought rather than sparing the back of the an innocent party, he just took to the grass. So, yeah, great play by Dan there to not interfere with anybody else's race, unfortunately. But he's out there to fight again. Got a bit of train in this one. Derek Fitzgerald, though, we did say if he can get out front and get clear, he's already 1.7 to the good of Phil King, made that 1.9. So he's definitely got the pace. He's gonna send it. As got Phil King is heading a lineup of about, I think, 13 cars at the moment.
Yeah.
All within under a second between them.
12 of them, yeah. Phil King's got 11 on his tail, just bearing down on him right now. I'm going to go out on a limb here as we see Rodney Golan, the race one, going to get down on the inside of Taylor Oakes and consolidate 6th position. I'm going to go out on a limb here and say I think the West Circuit, which we were on for Formula V last night, is the better racing track. This is more of a technical driver's circuit, this East configuration. And we're seeing that already because we've seen our fair share of good wheel-to-wheel races in Formula Ford. This may not be one of them tonight. And I just get the feeling that there's a vast difference between the type of circuit, top and bottom here. I guess that's why when you go on the full circuit, it's a good balance. Or even on the 5-kilometre international Grand Prix type circuit, the supercars configuration.
Yep.
One of those. But yeah, it would seem to be that the racing will be better on the West configuration when we're back here in week 9, and I certainly hope that's the case. And week 10, when we go to Mount Panorama, well, all bets are off because we know what sort of show that thing puts on. But, yeah, when we go, David Baz in the grass and somehow got away with it at the background. That was Dan Bardish again, Joe, I think. Let's have a look. Or was it Eduardo? It was. Yeah, no, well played.
Yep. You just can't touch the grass with it.
He got clouded on the way through.
Yeah,
so he's now on the tow rope. He's gone.
Yeah, it's one of those cars, if you touch the grass like we see Baz doing again there now, mind you, though, he got the pass done. He just got by Phil King. Tony Baker's made his way past, so he's in pursuit of Derek now. He's 2.3 to the good, out in the lead. So your race is probably on for second now. I don't think anyone's going to get hold of Derek.
Going down the inside and got by Phil King and did it nicely, Joe. Did it cleanly. And that's the other point as well. Again, going back to the comparisons east to west, east is the more technical circuit. It's also, by the look of it, the more narrow of the two. as well. And therefore, overtaking opportunities aren't, as freely available up at the top of the circuit, even with more corners and other things than the bottom of the circuit. And therefore, gone also is that other massive advantage that the Formula V's had last night, and that's that slipstream aerodynamic advantage as well. So, yeah, they are they're on the same patch of real estate, the same block of land, but they are vastly different circuits.
Definitely. Like turns 2 through 5 last night, there was probably 3 really distinct lines that could be fast. So you didn't have to follow people. Like you could run, like, stay really tight in turn 3 and get a good cut back on turn 4 and get the crossover on a guy in front of you. So it opened up the racing, whereas this place here, I actually went and did a couple of laps here today, and you're right, it's like you've got to keep up that momentum. So there's a very narrow width. If you want to maintain lap time, you've got a very narrow band in which to keep the momentum up with this car. You don't have a lot of wiggle room if you want to keep the pace. So, and we can see that now. It's almost like watching, the old J's in go-karting. Everyone's just sort of sitting in line, and overtakes are made when somebody makes a bit of an error.
Absolutely.
But they're all
Fitzgerald, Baker, Baz, Golan, and King at the moment, the top 5. Go for it, mate.
But the biggest gap in the top 10 is from your leader to Tony Baker, which is maintained at about the 2.4 second mark. Everyone else is sort of within half a second, as you can see on the pole there. Like, no one's really getting a breakaway, so a little bit of draft coming into it. Mav, he really hasn't gone like Rodney has. Rodney had a good run. Oh no!
Trouble. That was Tony Baker. That was Tony Baker. Unlucky for him.
So, jump on. So Tony's actually got loose on his own accord.
Yeah.
So that's bit unfortunate there. And
Okay, poor old David Baz nowhere to go.
yeah, no, nothing he could do.
No.
Well, I was wondering because there was a bit of a gap there, and I thought, that closed down really fast. But yeah, so he's just lost the rear, and as it snapped back, it's left Dave nowhere to go. But that's gotten Rodney through the pack now, so he's gone 10-2. He's had a good run, up 8 in this race. So he's probably on well. Oh, who was that? Into the
that
pits.
was Phil King.
That's
and David Baz into the pits as well. So is that damage or is that something else?
I would say Meatball with the impact that he had with Tony. Tony hasn't got the pit yet. Yes, he has.
No.
Yeah, so I would say that would be damage for both those guys. They would have both had a Meatball. It was a fairly substantial impact too. And
Dan Bardish off the ride now as well, mate. So he drops down to 10th. I was going to say, it's been a lot unfold this week. There's been a lot happening, Joe. But I'm still highly amused, as I'm sure a lot of people are. Dan Bardish here around the outside and into the weeds.
Oh.
Yep. See you later. Every day of the week. That was never jagging back for him.
Fairly supportive of Jim's mowing.
Exactly. Jim's landscaping.
That gives Adam a couple of spots.
I'm highly amused. Whoa, Adam Labour. And Taylor Oakes is there as well. Taylor gets him back. And now, have a look at Cataclysmus working as well. If you are a Coldplay fan or you've been watching the news today, ladies and gentlemen, you'll be highly amused by the events of Kiss Cam at their concert. There's a few people in hot water with that one today, let me tell you. God, the internet's a funny place. Now, off goes Taylor Oakes, and Adam Lavis goes back to P5.
That was Arjun, I think. I don't know.
Dershaj is there. Cataclysmus, yeah. I had trouble picking it up firstly because the off-track alert hadn't lit up because he was still just sitting, dead bang in the middle of the bitumen.
Oh, so there's a thing of events here. So Oakesy did go off.
Yeah.
That's probably Spook Sam, I think. He's probably seen... Oh, no, he's grabbed it all on his own.
Yeah.
So they both had the exact same issue at the same time and just got out of Adam's way. That's got Adam up into 5th.
Just a couple of seconds apart, Joe.
Yeah. So he's got Dougie Gowans 1 up the road, and he's all over the back of Phil King at the moment. So Doug's looking forwards. Your big losers tonight so far in this race has been Russell Gander. He's down 9 from where he started.
Oh, jeez. How close was that? Dougie Gowans almost with the back wheel into Phil King. Sorry, Joe, go on.
No, you're right.
8 positions gained for Rodney Gollan and 7 for Arjun Durjas at the moment. You were going to update us on those that have plummeted down the order.
Yeah, so Tony Baker and Russell Gander, they're the big losers, down 9 positions. And down Beachy, Bartosh, Baz, and yeah, everybody else has gone up.
Whoa, Dougie Gowans has got him. Gowans has got him around the outside. Joe put himself on the inside of turn 1. Dougie Gowans and Phil King. Gowans down the inside. King back around the outside. They're still going at it, but Gowans will go to 3rd.
That's what happens when I don't look at the screen and I'm looking for other people that are close. Sorry about that, people.
There's plenty of them. There's plenty of them at the moment. Gollan's only half a second off Fitzgerald, so Fitzgerald has been caught. Gowans has got King all over him like a cheap suit. Lavis is nearby. Oakes, he's well clear of Katakazinos, but he has Lipsky and Durjas for company. Bardish and Gander arguing over the same piece of real estate as well for the final spot in the top 10. Retirement so far, Fischler and Stark non-starters. Zamora parked up and done. Baz and Baker have been to pit lane and back out again. They sit 12th and 14th respectively.
Your battle for the lead's about to heat up, I think. Rodney Gollan, he's definitely got the speed over Derek. He's caught him up 2.5 seconds over the last 3 or so laps. So it's definitely going to be on for the lead here in a minute. Oh no, Arjun Durjas.
And it's taken Mark Bowman with him, Joe.
Martin Lipsky,
or is it Russell Gander? In fact, it's both. Have a look at this. Let's just keep the highlight reel going there. Have a look at them. They're tied into one another, tangled. And it's going to get worse. Bang. So there were 3 cars left behind that shot. Here it is again. Martin Lipsky's view this time.
So
Gander and Lipsky are still there. Bang. They're going to get tangled in one another, aren't they? They're not going to be able to move. They're both on the tow rope and done. Gander and Lipsky done. Bowman managed to potter away from it.
Mavs just got by Phil for 4th.
Next target for him will be Dougie Gowans, who's lost 3 seconds on Derek Fitzgerald and Rodney Gollan, and Gollan's punched out the fastest lap of the race already. 1:37.403. Are we expecting pit stops or not?
Not sure. I actually don't know. I haven't looked into that.
I wouldn't imagine so.
I don't think we had them last week.
No.
Bowman.
It'll be
Is that another one?
It'll be a case of if you've sustained damage, off you go into pit lane, but if not, manage your fuel tank and get to the end. And by the way, folks, that's looking like 16 laps in this race. Won't get much change out of that. 16 times. Let me just calculate and recalibrate this one, because we're going around in 137s at the moment. So the 1 minute 30 and 2 is 3. 3 times 8 is 24. 2 times 8 is 16, right? But it's those 7-second increments. Look at this. Look at this. Oh boy. So we've got a minute leeway there, right? Which means that we can start that last lap anywhere between, 58, 24:55 and 24:58, and we get away with it, right? So on those numbers, take the 7, right? 10 times 7 is 70, and another 6 times 7 is 112. Add that to Well, I tell you what, we're going to be maybe in a little bit of trouble here, Joe. Take that. I'm just trying to recalibrate here and make sure that I'm not going to sell everybody a bum steer. It could well end up going 15. We don't know. But if you take that 112, right, it's 25.42. Am I doing the maths right there? No, 25.52. 112. So 16 sevens, 15 sevens, 105, 7 is 112. So if we go around on those numbers, we're doing about a minute of overtime to get to 16 laps. And that's without a transit of the lane.
Yep, so for 25 minutes with 60 seconds is 1,500 seconds.
Yeah.
And we can divide that by, what about a minute 38, so 98 seconds a lap. Yeah, 15 and a half, so yeah, 16 laps we should get to, I think.
Yeah.
I think you're right.
Yep. I like it when the calculator is performing okay, even when I'm feeling a little underdone. Taylor Oakes to the inside of Phil King, to the outside of Phil King, to the inside again at turn 1. That crisscross, that overlap. Have a look at this. Down the inside and job done. GSRC, Friday Night Motorsport, good to have you along. We've, of course, got one hell of a super formula round from the Nurburgring coming your way as soon as we're done here. 20 minutes for race 1, 30 minutes for race 2, as I'll try and recalibrate and get the timings right tonight. The 2 minutes mark at the first quarter, 2 minutes to go in the first quarter. Lions 14, leading Dogs at 13 at the Gabba at the moment. Good crowd in there too, despite a storm earlier in the afternoon. Here's Adam Lavis down on the inside, going to third on Doug Gowans. Nice clean move too from Mav.
He had a good run off the last corner and never gave Dougie any chance to defend it. Very clean.
That's what we like.
Still hanging on the back of Taylor Oakes. Dan Bardish is a bit of a battle with Catakazunas. He bowls are wide a little bit.
Does indeed.
Oh, see, there's a couple of little battles going on at the moment.
Oh, off goes Taylor Oakes. He regathered.
I know.
He regathered. He's okay. Durjas has gone off the road as well, but have a look at this for a moment from Oakes. Look at the slipperiness of that. Whoa.
Oh, lucky. Got away with that one.
Yep. Russell Gander showing off the road now as well. Gander parked up and done. No, actually, no. He's back out there. He's just a lap down. And Zamora remains the only retirement. Lipsky's about to join that list of retirements, I think, considering that he hasn't got back out on the racetrack in 5 minutes. 3 laps down. 75% of 16 is 12 laps, so if he goes another lap down, it's curtains.
Okay, with the run on Bowman. Oh, Bowman's out of control. He's lost it.
Yeah. Oh, there it goes. It's a gift. It's a gift for Baker to get up into 11th. What's exciting here, Joe, is the top 6 are still covered by 10, 11 seconds. First and second having a ding-dong. Derek Fitzgerald, Rodney Gollan trying to do the double. Fitzgerald trying to keep him at bay. Lavis and Gowan's arguing over third. They're 5 seconds down the road. I don't think they're going to be catching these guys. I think it's more just a case of limitation for them, consolidation, bagging the points and pressing on, knowing full well that the championship will be won in September, not in July.
Tell you what, bit of props to Derek. Unless Rodney got up behind him and then just backed off to have a crack at him in the last lap or two, he's doing a pretty good job here. He's run a 37.52, so he's certainly not slow. He's actually had a better lap time than what Rodney Gollan has with a bit of draft. So they're putting on a pretty good show up the front here with the pace, and Mav hasn't been able to run with him. Done a 38.1 has been his best lap time. So he's about half second pace. But these two guys have certainly been the stars of the show.
Indeed, they have. It's been phenomenal entertainment so far. Just little two-car battles more so than the pack racing we see in Formula V each and every week. But guarantee you, when we get back to the West circuit, the West configuration in week 9, so that's 7 weeks today, we are in for one hell of a fight. That is going to be a cracking round of this series in these cars.
Oh, absolutely.
But again, Joe, it comes back to the point. Not every circuit we go to is going to produce, top shelf, hugely exciting and absorbing and entertaining racing. You got to take the processional ones and the tamer ones to appreciate those good ones.
Yeah, definitely. Not every race can be done. Oh, Dougie Gowans gets out just on curb there. We've seen death there tonight, but and you can take the same bunch of guys from, like you say, from this version of the track and put them onto Oran Park, and it'll be one of the best races you've ever seen. It's some tracks just lend themselves well to it. And actually, the track last night, I even said to the guys in the Discord, it's like the track raced a lot like Oran Park if Oran Park was like 50% bigger without the bridge. Like the shape of the corners and just the way it raced, it had that Oran Parky sort of feel in the Vs for me last night, which, when you're in the Vs and the Fords and the Skippies, Oran Park's a very, very flowy track. You got to keep the momentum up through the slower portions of the track. And I felt that was one of the strengths last night. The guys that won sort of took advantage of is mid-corner speed, I guess. And but this track here, looks like you've got to be so precise. It makes it a bit harder to race that way, which has led to the spread out race that we've got. And
Very much so.
Absolutely crazy. Yeah, Gollum's up 8. He's certainly put.
That's what it's all about.
Braden Sagasar tonight. He didn't show up. He was second last week. Art Baz isn't there for Adams. We haven't seen. Reese Gosner hasn't shown up. Yeah,
Quite a few absentees.
Sorry, mate.
Quite a few absentees, but you get that week in, week out, don't you? Like, there's no consistency because everybody's got different lives, commitments, schedules, obligations, etc. that creep in from time to time, and it might just be a one-off. It might be, every second week. You don't know, and it's extraordinary that we've been maintaining the momentum and the attendance figures that we have in a society that is back to normal compared to when we start. Like, the numbers we've got in the club at the moment, Joe, are extraordinary in the sense that they're right where we were at the peak of that extraordinarily long lockdown that Victoria and New South Wales sat through during 2021 at the height of the spicy cough.
Yeah, absolutely. The level of competitiveness too, it was more your club racer, I guess, your beginner, the bottom, what makes up 80% of iRacing seemed to have been what made up 95% of the club at that time, as of Dave Baz, making his way back on the track. Whereas now we've got a lot of the 5, 6, 7, 8K drivers are joining in and making it a very, very difficult place to not only get a top 3, but to win a race nowadays. You're doing a pretty damn good job if you can win a race in the gents. So the level of competition's gone up, and we've retained a lot of the members too. So and a lot of new really fast guys as well, which. And it can get disheartening when you're like me and old and not that fast really, but you've got to be in there. You'll always find somebody to race against.
Absolutely will. Last lap board out in the air now. We got there. We got to overtime. We got to lap 16. Fitzgerald holding on. Gollan giving good chase. Round honours up for grabs for Rodney Gollan, but it's looking good for Derek Fitzgerald in this race to become the 4th different race winner of the campaign so far. Half a lap to go. Dan Bardish has had to come to the pit lane. David Baz as well. There are going to still be 11 cars on the lead lap. They're about to gobble up Mark Bowman. They've done that. He goes a lap down. So 2 cars are going to finish a lap down. 2 are not going to be classified. And 11 will be finishing on the lead lap here. 2 have been to pit lane. I think 1 might have actually gone in. Dan Bardish might have got in for an incident point limit and a drive-through penalty, because I did see him on pit lane, but now it's showing no pit stop time next to his name. So it could well have been an incident points issue for him. Derek Fitzgerald has controlled this nicely. And Rodney Gollan is looking the goods for the round as well. Last sequence of corners, checkered flag in the air. And again, we have 2 winners in as many attempts. This time at the Ben Motorsport Park, Derek Fitzgerald joins the winners list in the GSRC Formula Ford Cup in
Bloody thing.
in term 3 of 2025, round 2. Night 5, week 2, term 3, you beauty. Well done, Derek Fitzgerald, of course, on the grid last week, 5th and 7th. This week, much better. Racing with Adam Lavis, door-to-door in race 1, wheel-to-wheel, and, of course, winning race 2. Capitalising on better grid position, care of the invert. Gollan from 10th to 2nd, Fitzgerald from 4th to 1st, Lavis from 9th to 3rd, Gowans from 8th to 4th. So, as far as round honours go, Adam's going to be right in the mix as well, but I reckon Gollan has done enough. Oaks, King, Katakazinas, Baz, Derjaj, Bartish and Baker. See what I did there? And they make up the 11 that finished on the lead lap. Mark Bowman and Russell Gander got home a lap down. Not bad. Not bad. Point 3, the winning margin in the end. Closest battle on the circuit at the end of the day. It was fairly well spread out beyond that. Lavis, Gowans, Oaks, and then King, Katakazinas a long way back after an incident earlier on. David Baz the same, had to transit the lane even. Bardish finished just behind Derjaj in the end. Before we hear from some drivers, Joe, we may as well take care of some personal business here and some GSRC admin as well. There are no drivers on their way into the booth to have a chat to us just yet. As soon as we get one in, we'll drag them in for a yarn. But we've, of course, got the Wheelie Spins Tour continuing tomorrow night, round 2. We'll spin the wheel in just a moment. But before that, last night we had round 2 of the Porsche Cup, ladies and gentlemen. The latest round of the Porsche Cup, I should say, the second of the sprint rounds in as many weeks. The Okayama International Circuit was the venue, and Eduardo Zamora and Marcus Cook shared the points in the Porsche Open Cup. And it's Cook that leads the way, 96 plays, Zamora 83, and Paul Wilson 74, Bobby Camo 63, and Dale Sharp 62. Now, what's happened last night, by the way, Dave Oliver was third for the round in the open split. What's happened last night is that there's been a lot of promotion, a lot of shuffling of the field, the cohort. John O'Akers, the form runner in the open split, has been promoted to the elite split. So what that means is that it's very much an open race in the Open Cup going forward. We therefore have a look at what happened in the elite split, and Corey Lazarus retains the championship lead, but has only 2 safety license points to play with on the back of a penalty last night in race 2 for a dangerous rejoin, or an unsafe rejoin at the start of race 2. You will recall that he made a mistake and tripped himself up. He was trying to rejoin from the kitty litter, got into the side of another car. Race control have slugged him 45 seconds and 4 safety license points. And he's skating on thin ice for the balance of the campaign. But he still leads the championship. He's still got the bonus points for the fastest laps. A clean race in race 1, not so race 2. Hayden Smith was third for the round, and Ben Pedersen second for the round. The round was won, believe it or not, by the man that finished third in both races, Andrew Dyson. So you don't have to always win a sprint round to be the round winner there. Taylor Oakes is jumping in to have a chat with us in just a moment. 111 for Lazarus, 94 for Smith, 93 for Muir, who did not much in the second race. In fact, copped a penalty as well. He had a 5-second penalty handed to him, and also 2 safety license points. Eric Fenton, 91, and Ben Pedersen, 86. Jackson Rayhana, 82 points, makes up the top 6 at the moment. Joe was just showing you the schedule for Formula Ford going forward. Next stop, Phillip Island. We're excited about that. It will be just a 40-minute race next week, Joe.
Yeah, look, Phillip Island, it always puts on great racing, and in cars like this, it's, I would expect that we're probably going to have a pretty big field next week. Even being for a Friday, but Phillip Island in these cars is always good fun. So it's certainly one not to be missed, and hopefully it'll be supported by the drivers. So I'm looking forward to it. It's probably going to be the best race of the season, looking at what's coming up, other than Bathurst.
100%. I'm with you next week and looking forward to it immensely. I'm here on September 5. I'm here on September 12. And there's a lot to be excited about with regards to those particular rounds of the championship. 4 Australian stops on this tour. Cheers for the race, gentlemen, from Rodney Gollan. He had to go. He wasn't able to stick around. And Phillip Island will be cool. I'm not sure what Craig's comment was in relation to. Might have been the penalty points that we were running through from last night. But anyway, it doesn't matter. Taylor Oakes, I'll get to you in just a moment. Joe, let's spin the wheel, please. Let's remind everybody that the Wheelie Spins Tour continues tomorrow night, 200 kilometres the journey. Firstly, we've got to determine where we're going, Joe. We've got a few different tracks to choose from there. Let's spin it.
Great Aussie tracks. Last week. Oh. We're off to women.
Karma.
Oh,
Karma is
God,
a you-know-what.
I hope that young Stridey, he actually won on the mountain last week, and he chose to add the...
I hope it's a Clio. Yeah. I really hope it's a Clio. There are your cars available to you tomorrow night at Winton, ladies and gentlemen. The SR10, the GTE, would be an absolute mongrel around there. So...
Okay. If the SR10 spins up, that's actually the Xfinity car, because it could have been changed. Yes, but
copy.
Well, let's
all
see
right, let's
what
go.
We can run around. Oh God, I hope it's it.
Oh, GTE. Oh, jeez. Oh God.
Oh,
GTE around Winton. That's going to be a test.
An hour and a half.
That's going to be a punish.
Hour and a half's worth of racing. We generally do about an hour and a half in the MtnMen doing 32 laps. It's like 200 kilometres, I think. So, yeah, 200 Ks around Winton's going to be about 100 laps. So that's going to be fun. We'll rock and roll that one tomorrow night. And
good luck with that one. Oh, jeez. Rather you than me. Merch.tgsrci.com. If you want to buy some GSRC paraphernalia, we're getting towards that time of the year where people start thinking about the summer holidays. I mean, you know, they've already started the defrost process, the thawing process on Mariah Carey and Michael Bublé. So, you know, why not get your shopping started early, ladies and gentlemen? GSRC merch.myshopify.com, merch.tgsrci.com. And of course, the other point is that if you want to get involved in what we're doing and get in amongst the action, be out there on the circuit, like Taylor Oakes, who we're going to hear from now, from Palmerston North in New Zealand, all you have to do is simply swap out merch for race.tgsrci.com. So, GTE at the clothesline. Oh, God. Taylor Oakes, good evening to you. Formula Ford at the Bend. First impressions of the east configuration of the circuit.
By the last lap of the last race, I think I'd finally worked out where to go.
There are a lot of corners there.
Yeah, for such a short layout, I think there's about 22 corners or something like that. And the first race started off feeling a bit like Monaco, where it was really difficult to pass, but once you got the flow and you nailed your lines, you could actually get a good run and find a couple of good spots to pass at, and then you just could often just put a little bit of pressure on and the guy in front might fall off a little bit.
Tyson Broad chiming in. Good evening to you. Fire up Oaks fans. Now, on that subject, let's have a chat about a couple of things here. I was trying to compare it whilst we're on air there for the audience at home, mate, to last night Formula V. Formula V on the West Circuit. The West Circuit, far more of a racing circuit, but this one's a bit more of a driver's circuit. It's an art form. You've got to dig in and really chip away at it. Not an easy track to master. And as you said, overtaking came at a premium, whereas we couldn't stop the counter. We didn't have enough clicks on the counter last night on the overtaking meter. The Formula Vs were chopping and changing all over the place. I dare say it'll be similar in the Formula Fords when we go to the West configuration in 7 weeks' time. But this East Circuit, a bit narrower, and therefore you really had to work for those overtaking opportunities.
Yeah, really had to work hard, and especially with not many hard braking corners. There was a lot of flowing corners. You had to really set your move up. You might be side by side with someone for 3 or 4 corners, and you're just hoping that the typical Formula Ford accident doesn't happen where you touch a wheel and you go for a roll.
Well, that's exactly right. We didn't see a roll tonight. We saw a couple of spins and crashes and other things, but no rolls, which was a good thing. Hey, talk to me about race 1, because that was your better result of the evening. I'm just having a look at my totem pole. 7th in race 2 with the +2, which is 9th on the grid, which is 2nd in race 1. So not a bad result there. And obviously, as you said, the invert wasn't necessarily everybody's friend tonight.
Yeah, race 1 was a little bit fun. I completely destroyed the start with starting from P6 on the grid, went back to 10th by turn 1, and managed to race through to a 4th at the line, which was pretty happy with, and had to make a good couple of moves in that one. But race 2 was the one that I enjoyed far more than race 1. It was race 2 that was, you just had to work really, really hard just to make even one spot. I think there was for about 15 minutes there were 4 of us just trying not to hit each other and not to fall off, and eventually the seas parted a little bit. I managed to get one, and I think ended up finishing P5 in that last race, so 2 top 5s I'm pretty happy with.
Indeed. Speaking of this series, we look ahead towards next week, mate. Out with sprint racing, in with the 40-minute format. Just the one race to ply your trade with next Friday night, but it is Phillip Island, and we know the sort of quality racing that can produce. What are your thoughts going into the gateway to hypothermia?
I'm in New Zealand, so I'm a little bit cold on that at the moment, so
yeah,
it'll go there and it'll be quite warm, because I think I'm looking at a low of 1 degree tonight, so that'll be quite good.
You'll feel right at home.
Oh, we've got penguins as well, so we're pretty good here. But no, Phillip Island will be great, but I'm really looking forward to Lebanon. That is so much fun, that place. I reckon that'll be the best race of that season. Looking at that Lebanon track just bodes well for so much good racing, with a lot of good tight corners and a lot of really good passing opportunities if you work together with a couple of other cars.
And I think the other thing as well, like there'd be a few people that wouldn't appreciate your comments about Lebanon, but again, it comes back to, like, it might not be the best circuit for the big cars, and we found that out with GT3 going there a couple of terms ago. But pick the right car, and it's a cracking little circuit.
Oh, there's 3 cars I enjoy Lebanon on, and it's the Formula Ford, that BMW M2 CS thing, and the Ford Legend. The Ford Legend around there is so much fun.
We love the Legend cars. We absolutely do. So maybe just maybe somewhere down the line, if we're going to get some Lebanon, we need to get that car back on the grid somehow. Hey, looking forward to next week. Good luck with that. I mean, it's a good championship calendar that they've got together here. What other racing is going to keep you busy between now and next Friday?
Mainly just work, really. I'll get on for the MX5s on Monday, but
good boy.
It'll be just paying the bills and keeping the iRacing subscription going.
Yeah, well, that's exactly right, isn't it? I mean, it's a hard one, right? Because, you know, I mean, we all spend money in different ways on different things, on different, necessities or desires or wants or needs or whatever the case may be, right? We've all got our guilty pleasure. We've all got our drug. For me, it's Dare Iced coffee, and at the moment, as the boys know very well, and I mentioned it on air last night, I'm in the market for a new computer, so I'm digging into the wallet deep at the moment to make sure that I've got something to set myself up for the next 6 to 7 years, in the same way that this PC that I've currently got's got me 6 to 7 years. So, but the one thing I've learned as well, mate, I mean, yes, it's an expensive caper. The real thing more so.
It's a little bit cheaper than racing the Toilet Levin here.
100%. But in saying that as well,
I'll be missing one round on the 28th of August because we've got a 6-hour race at Hampton Downs International Circuit.
Oh, righto.
Yeah, so me and the old man will be there, and we'll do 3 hours driving each, an hour and a half at a time, and got a couple of mates that'll come out and help out with pit stops and everything, and just try and keep that Levin running to the end of the race.
So tell us a little bit more about that. How are we going to be able to stay across your progress there? Will there be a broadcast of this thing, or will it just be relying on your social media updates?
If I remember, there might be some social media updates, but normally when I get into those events, I just leave the phone in my car and just be present in the event and let the photographers that are there do the socials. And I think there are a couple of cars that actually live stream from their cockpit onto YouTube or Twitch. There's a couple of cars that live stream from there, but there might be a broadcast. I think the last round there may have been, but we're only doing the last round out of the four round series, as it's not cheap to do.
Yeah. And it's funny, isn't it? You think about, because again, going off the point there, and Joe's just transitioning from one server to another, for those of you that are tuning in at home and wondering why you've now got a slideshow on your television screen. We're off to the Nurburgring in just a moment. We've got 10 minutes before the cars are lining up there for Super Formula Round 2. It's a funny one, isn't it, Taylor? I mean, we've all got our, you can look at what people spend money on and how people spend it and why people spend it. But at the end of the day, if you're having fun, that's the main thing. Money comes in, with a little bit of hard yakka and all that sort of stuff. Money comes back, you dig into the pockets, you enjoy yourself. But remember the one key thing, and I learnt this far too late in the piece, right? Because I've always been very money conscious the last few years. It's no good to you when you're dead. So get in and enjoy it and spend it now. And it might cost a little bit at the time, but it's the memories, among other things, isn't it, that come with it.
And I'll add one point to that is you can't spend your money on things when you've got no energy to do that activity as well. You can have that money when you get older, but you may not have the energy. That's one thing all my grandparents have told me. They've got money in the bank, but they've got no energy to go and do things. So hence the reason why we go out there, and the old man puts it down as mental health, a mental health weekend.
That's it. I like it.
And when you go out and you're in that car, apart from the one person in the radio, it's just you, the car in front, and the faster class coming up behind you.
Yep, and it can be a very peaceful and therapeutic sort of exercise. I know exactly where you're coming from. I love it. Good luck with that. Good luck with the rest of the term. Come back and have a chat to us after the Mazda MX-5s on Monday night, mate. We look forward to it. Have a good weekend.
Yeah, and I'll just hopefully the boys doing the old Super Formula go well tonight and keep all four corners on the car.
Easier said than done. It's going to be interesting to see how it plays out.
Especially Nurburgring.
Oh, 100%.
Yeah, and then few people I've heard from struggling with a little bit of getting the car turned in, a bit of understeer, so wanting a little bit of a roll bar change, but fixed setup, everyone's got the same.
We had 33 cars on the grid for that championship opener last week. It'll be interesting to see what grid numbers are like for tonight, and Orbit Drop there well represented. They were 1, 2 and 3 last week. Go and get some sleep, Taylor. Enjoy that. Have a good weekend, mate. We'll touch base again on Monday.
Yep, for the next few hours, I'm going to be so laid back, I'll be horizontal.
Yes, I love it. There he is, Taylor Oakes. Very nicely done tonight. In the points again in GSRC Formula Ford. A break from here and back.
Cheers,
we're going to step away
Thanks,
for a couple of minutes. Good on you, mate. Thank you. And we'll come back with round 2 action from the Super Formulas on the other side of this short break. And again, another big field lining up here as we go into qualifying mode. You'll see that on your screens in just a tick. We'll jump in with a couple of minutes to go in that session and start having a yak again. Jackson Rayhan are the fastest in practice, 1 minute 34.296. Some big names, some heavyweights lining up. This is going to be must-watch, compelling viewing. Hope you can stay with us as we move into the main course of our Friday Night Motorsport Open Wheel doubleheader across Facebook and YouTube, the platforms of the Gentlemen's Sim Racing Club. Stay with us.
Yep, clear. Oh, yeah. Yep. Oh, absolutely. Don't beat yourself. No. Well, why even do it? Bye. It's unusual for Scott to have a chat. Oh, shit.
Put your money on me. Yeah, the devil be now. Put your money on me. I'm getting it out. I'll never go back, never look back. Tear off the crown. This is my winning love. Put your money on me. Yeah, the devil be now. Shut up, nothing gonna nobody. Not good, but I won't know. Put your money on me. Yeah, the devil be now. Put your money on me. I'm getting it out. I'll never go back, never look back. Tear off the crown. This is my winning love. Put your money on me. Yeah, step away from falling. I'm not too scared to dive in this light. There's no way I could hold back. The urge I'm feeling is burning. I'm getting lost in my dreams. A step away from falling. I'm not too scared to dive in this light. I can't keep on containing. Yeah, the time would be now. Put your money on me.
Platforms of the Gentleman Sim Racing Club, Facebook, Twitch, and YouTube. Sorry, scratch Twitch. I'm still getting out of that habit. This is Friday Night Motorsport. This is the Gentleman Sim Racing Club. This is term 3 of 2025. This is night 5 of week 2. This is season 22 for this fantastic club, continuing to go from strength to strength to strength. And we bring you now to the Nurburgring in Germany for the second round of the brand new offering on our platforms this term. Of course, I'm talking about the Spreyton Cider Super Formula Series. Our Wings and Slickers offering has scratched the light and gone for the full holeless bowler Super Formula this time round, and they have produced some scintillating racing thus far, and they have arrived in droves to participate in this series. There are names as far as the eye can see, a field well in excess of 30 again tonight. Joe Baldwin alongside yours truly, Zach Caban. Great to have you along for the ride, live, exclusive and free. And, of course, before we get into the Super Formula side of things, we should remind everybody going around the grounds tonight, the NRL underway. The Sharks 31 defeated the Roosters 18 at halftime in the NRL second fixture. It is the Panthers leading the Rabbitohs 18-0 at the Gabba. It's the Lions leading the Bulldogs 40-31, 6-4, 40-5, 131. There are 3 minutes and 52 seconds left in the first half up there. Just about a 35-minute drive from where I am here in Raceview this evening. There's the track map for you. We actually have a track map for the Nurburgring. We've been here before. I won't worry too much about the time, weather and service settings just yet, but there is the circuit, just a smidgen over 5 kilometres, extended, of course, at the end of the 2001 season. It is the Grand Prix configuration. The second longest configuration around here, of course, or third longest actually, because there's the Nordschleife separate and then there's the Nordschleife combined at 25 kilometres with this circuit attached to it as well. The arena layout, of course, we go hard right through turn 1. We don't flick back left. We go around that arena section, turn 2, 3, and then rejoin with the right-hander at 4 onto the old short chute down to what was turn 3 back in the day is now turn 5. We've got championship standings from last week, courtesy of Joe Baldwin on your screen right now. Harrison Lillis, the points leader, with a clean sweep last week. 2 first, Sam Sutton a second and a 9th, and 11th and a 2nd for Jack O'Dyle, and a 4th and a 5th for Tom Donoghue. Some erratic results there last week, but Lillis consistent, 67 leads. Sutton 48, 43 each for Dial, and Donoghue 41 for Adam Lavis. And that's the interesting point as well. When you look at how it's played out so far, this series, it's going to be cutthroat. It's going to be hard fought. So 20 points is a good little bit of breathing space already for Harrison Lillis. Grid for race 1, 1 o'clock in the afternoon, 17 kilometre an hour winds almost in a westerly direction, south-westerly to westerly. 20 degrees the ambient, 34 on track, cloudy conditions, 60% humidity, no chance of rain at the moment. Danny Davison lining up there on the front row alongside Jackson Rayhana. The 4 men of the qualifying session are 1 and 2 on the grid. Marcus Watson from row 2 alongside Cameron Dance. Row 3, Harrison Lillis, Jackson Dial. Row 4, Dan Yeoman and Lachlan Cable. Row 5, Tom Donoghue and Guy Leach. Scott Barton, and then you go back to Tyson Broad on 12th position. 13th is Miles Burgess. Nathan Michael from 14th. The 8th row, Lachlan Olsen and David Baz. The 9th row, Adam Hayne, Travis Azzopardi. The 10th row, Adam Lavis and Martin Davis. The 11th is David Hayne and Jason Wilkinson. The 12th is Greg Heaney and Paul Wood. The 13th is Bobby Camo and Eduardo Zamora. The 14th is Phil Otto and Julian Mookie. Aidan Luthwaite from 29th. Sam Katakazinas, Tristan McLaren, Matt Schmidtke and Chris Stark will make up this field. That's if Starkey actually takes to the grid. A few drivers there opting not to finish their qualifying run this evening. And the Western Bulldogs have kicked it behind. So it's a 7-point advantage in favour of the Brisbane Lions, 40-33. British Open Golf, Tour de France, Czech Republic Motorcycle Grand Prix practice underway all tonight as well. So a big Friday night of sport, whether you're a fan of the footy codes or the cricket or anything else in between. Golf, cycling and virtual motorsport, and also some Grand Prix motorcycling. It's good stuff. We're ready to rock and roll. Getting set for a start here. Can Harrison Lillis find a way through to continue the dominant start of the season that he forged last week in round 1 of the series at Phillip Island? Let's wait and find out. Round 2, Spreyton Ciders Super Formula from the Nurburgring. Let's go. Little bit of creep off the line from Rayhana, but a bolter of a start. 4 wide further back. Let's see if they can make it to turn 1. Hold your breath. Bang. First bit of contact. Tip and shoulder. Watson through on the inside. It hung poor old Danny Davison out to dry. And then behind them, Jack O'Dyle has dropped off the planet. He's dropped off the top of the leaderboard and all the way down 24th position. That was him going exit stage right out of turn 2. Through we go. It'll take a while for them to sort themselves out.
Such a difficult car to drive. Got Barton made a mistake.
How have you found it, Joe? How much time have you had a chance to drive this thing before, obviously, sticking to the broadcast side of things?
Oh, I did 3 laps just before the season started and thought I'd be fantastic rebroadcasting them. No, these are actually, they've got so much horsepower. They're really, really... off goes Adam Hayne.
Well picked up.
They're really tricky on cold tyres. He's lost his front wing there by the look of it, so he'll be on his way through the pits here at the second. Yeah, they're really, really difficult to drive, especially on cold tyres. Like it's, yeah, once you get the tyres warm, they're a bit better. But is that Marcus Watson?
That's Marcus Watson. That's Watson, all right. Rejoins, but it's right down the bottom of the order of the top, out on the outer of the top 5 right now. Can you believe that? Rayhana leads. Dance Lillis up 2 spots already. Yeaman to 4th and Cable to 5th. Yeaman to 4th, our 500 winner. Broad to pit lane. He's not alone. He'll have good company there. David Baz also to pit road. Quite a few drivers still struggling to find their way around. Chris Stark opted not to start. Everybody else did. Down to 32 we are from the outset. And there's a mountain of traffic on pit lane right now. Adam Hayne, Greg Heaney also on pit road. David Hayne soldiers on despite his own off-track skirmish on that opening lap. Oh boy, carnage on the opening lap here. We probably expected it. The Nurburgring. Uh-oh. Yeah. A fair bit for race control to try and sort their way through there.
What happened to Jack O'Dyle? Oh, so he's gone out. Oh, he's... Yeah, okay, so just that's a 3 into 2 into 1 just doesn't mix and side contact there. That's unfortunate. But Danny Davison, oh, geez, he's a big loser so far. He's down 8 positions after qualifying on pole, so we know he's got the pace, but yeah, he's going to have to work for it. Yeah? A lot of overtakes and off tracks and stuff. My timing, my mental, honest.
I was going to say, we've got our totem pole back there, top left of screen 2, ladies and gentlemen, so keep your eyes peeled on that. A lot of information at our disposal on that graph at the moment, including positions gained and lost, fastest laps, 1:37.321 for Jackson Rayhana. Lap 3, it's a 20-minute race to get us going, a 30-minute race to bring us home. There will be an invert top 10 attached to that second race. Of course, standard status quo procedure for the balance of the season. And of course, we'll have 3 races on grand final night. So this will be our 21 race championship. And grand final night, oh boy, that's going to be an absolute belter from, if you don't mind, ladies and gentlemen, Suzuka in Japan. So 40 minutes for race 3 and 20 minutes for races 1 and 2. And that was David Hayne. Marcus Watson, 1:37.203. That's one way to respond after putting yourself off the road on the opening lap. He's back with a vengeance on that second lap and now chasing down Lachlan Capel.
But the eyes on here, they're once the tyres come up through there, it's pretty much flat. You got to be careful of the curves with these cars. Get it down. If you're a little bit too fast here, you bowl out wide. So you got to get the car slowed down, let it rotate, grip up, and then away you go. A lot of gravel brought up on the track there. God, look at these tyres.
Yeah, I was going to say debris is going to be a talking point tonight. You can just tell.
Yeah, absolutely. I think this chicane sucks. I'm not even going to. They need to get the backhoe out there and rip it and get rid of it. The high speed chicane there is a lot more fun and enjoyable as a driver, but the slower chicane with these cars, obviously they've got the downforce. Cameron Dance has just put in a good lap at 36.4. So
scintillating time from Cameron Dance. And Orbit Drop there, well represented out there, Joe. They're 2, 3 and 4 at the moment.
They are. Yeah, they seem to be a bit of a powerhouse in the sim racing sphere at the moment.
Aidan Luthwaite on pit lane. His teammate Tyson Broad already has gone to pit lane as well, and Jack O'Dyle still on pit lane. So Orbit Drop there in half a dozen
He's off to the
tonight. But yeah, Aidan Luthwaite's parked up and done. So there you have it.
And so is Jack O'Dyle as well.
Yep. Happy hour comes a little bit abruptly for the Orbit Drop Bear stable. Oh, crisscross racing, Miles Burgess off the road. And beached.
Oh, got weird damage. No.
He grabbed reverse before he grabbed first, Joe, so he went further back than he needed to there. Out of harm's way. Safe rejoin, though.
Yeah, that's been a bit of a topic the last couple of days. I just throttled up on the curb and got the wheel. Oh, geez, he's lucky to keep it off the fence there. Done well, though.
Isn't he what? Did very well.
Dan Yeoman solid up the front. He had a pretty solid qualifying in the top 10. He's up 3 positions now in 4th. So another solid night on the cards for Dan Yeoman. Harrison Lawless, winner from last year, currently sitting 3rd. He's up 2 positions. Cam Dance 2nd. Jackson Rayhana, though, with a clean pair of heels out front at the moment.
Oh, Look at your teammate. Look at Matt Schmidtke, up 17 spots already, Joe.
Oh, hello.
Such is the rate of attrition we've seen here so far. Schmitty, or Schnitty, as
Chicken
Sebby
Schnitty.
tried, we'll call him, is up 17 spots already, and Tristan McLaren's followed him through. He's up 15. Sam Katakazina's up 12. It pays to take advantage of the misfortune of others in the attrition that falls into your lap. So well done there. As whoa, jeez,
Jeepers, what happened
Julian
there,
Mookie has
Julian?
lost the rear wing.
Let's have a...
That's a striking
Oh.
throwback. Oh, that's a striking throwback to, I want to say, the Jordan of the late 90s.
What,
The
with no
Damon
wing?
Hill, Giancarlo Fisichella, Ralph Schumacher era. Yeah, Heinz Harald Frentzen as well.
Yeah,
How
Frentzen, I
good.
think actually it was Frentzen that lost the rear wing, wasn't it? Yeah. Guy Leach just, Guy Leach has had an incident. He's towed back to the pits. Happened to Guy.
And Julian Mookie as well, and Phil Otto. Let's have a look at this. Is this an isolated incident? Let's have a look up towards the Schumacher
is
as we go. No, he's done it all on his own.
As same as what our friend did a couple of laps ago.
We're down to 26 already, Joe. The amount of cars on pit lane. Dial, Hayne, still on pit lane. Leach, Mookie and Otto. They're now as well on the tow ropes, so they're out of contention, figuratively speaking, for race one. They can still get out there and get some points, potentially, if there's a bit more of attrition. But, yeah, it's a long road back. They do get a second chance in race two. I'm expecting some attrition in that one as well because the invert top 10 always brings about some drama. But we'll wait and see.
Got to keep the racing spicy, Zach.
Yes, absolutely. It's the best way to have it.
Up 18 now for Smithy. 16 for Tristan McLaren. Sam Katakazernis is up 12. Travis as a party's 7 positions up from where he started, so he's had a good run, 18th to 11th. And then a few guys that are up 6 from where they started. Adam Maverick, he's currently, hang on a minute, Nathan Michaels just dropped back.
Caught
Had a
the
bit of a rough
grass
track.
on the exit of that right-hander.
What's happened to Nathan? I reckon he's...
Oh, car 2, drive-through penalty. Car 2, drive-through penalty. Hang on.
Oh, he just didn't up.
Have I got a car 2?
No,
I don't have a car 2.
I don't have a car too.
Race control's giving us a bum steer.
Let's have a look and see who goes through the pit.
Correct. All right. Let's go back to Cameron Dance in the meanwhile, under pressure from Harrison Lillis. Jackson Ray Harner controlling this race nicely, 1.47 to the good at the moment. And Guy Leach out there on the track, a lap down now. 4 cars still remain on pit lane. They've got Cameron Dance going through. Nathan Michael dropping down the order again. Nathan Michael in more trouble, but he gets back around onto the main straight in 21st position. This is how it happened coming into the final corner. Oh, yep. Rear end gone. See you later. 2:07. Thank you, Jack O'Dyle. And that is Marcus Watson. So Watson's got a drive through.
Oh,
Is the advice from Jack O'Dyle. Why more to the point? What has happened there to earn Marcus a drive through?
he
If
did
that's
have an
the
incident on lap 1.
meanwhile, Ray Harner's in control, looking to be the second different race winner of the season. Dance, Lillis, Yeaman and Watson and Donahue and Davison, the top 7. Capel, Barchin and Olsen, the top 10.
I'm looking at Marcus. Oh.
being asked to see if there's a replay of the start as well, Joe. In the meantime, Rayhana, Dance, Lillis, Yeoman and Watson the top 5. I'm still waiting to see if and when Marcus will come to pit lane, if that is correct. Info being passed through from Jacko. I couldn't imagine that wouldn't be, because Jacko's in the server at the moment, so he will know what's been going on. It's not a jump start, so we can confirm that. Let's just have a look at what happened on the run down to turn 1. It looks like a relatively clean start, I thought. Oh, actually, there's the hip and shoulder.
I think that might be your issue.
Yeah, but is that really an egregious sort of sin worthy of a drive-through, though?
Was it a drive-through, or was it a...
Yeah,
Yeah, it was a drive-through, wasn't it? So, I know he fell back a few positions during lap 1, so whether or not something... Actually, what I might actually... We'll go back live and see what's going on. I might...
You do some digging.
I'll do some digging. Contact RCs and see what they've got to say.
Copy. Thank you, mate. So, okay, 15-second penalty for Matt Schmidtke for a late move in contact with cars on the opening lap. Contact with car 273 and 447. So Schmidtke's got a 15-second penalty coming his way, despite the fact that he's up 22 spots. That charge is about to be brought undone after the fact, because he'll be demoted on the points, on the finishing order post-race. So it won't apply in server. It'll be applied out of server externally, manually, and reflected on the points table at the end of the night. That's unfortunate. 10-second penalty for Marcus is what we're hearing. I still don't know who got the drive-through penalty or whether that was a typo. Phil out of the pit lane. Scott Barch into pit lane now as well. There's been a lot of pit lane activity in this opening race. Top 18 haven't stopped, with the exception of Tyson Broad. Broad's got himself back to 14th, despite the fact that he's transited the lane. That's an impressive run. Marcus Watson, fastest lap of the race, 1:35.927. We're on lap 9. We're at the 15-minute mark, 14.25 minutes. So next time by, I mean, we're looking at. Let's have a look here. Oh, geez, probably a 12-lap race, if I'm being perfectly honest. Given that we're going, oh, actually, no, we'll probably get more than that. Yeah, it's across the line. It's touch and go. So a minute and a half.
Yeah, 15
It's
laps.
5.5, isn't it? Yeah, it's 5 laps. So it's 5 minutes from here. It's 5 minutes from here.
Yes.
So we're going at about a minute 36. So we're looking at 13 laps. We're looking at 13 laps for this race.
I have some information.
Yes, mate.
So Marcus Watson has got a 10-second late move plus contact. Its 10-second penalty would have been 5 generally, but being that we penalised lap 1 indiscretions to a higher level to make sure lap 1's a lot cleaner, it's been adjudicated to a 10.
Copy that.
That's the official word that's coming off of the RC. There is a Matt Schmidtke's had contact with 273 and 447, 15-second troubles. And a 5-second penalty's come down for Tyson. That was Barchin. Yeah, so that's 5-second late movement. That's coming direct from the
horse's mouth. Yeah.
But Marcus Watson at the moment, like where he is at the moment, he only looks to lose 2 positions overall. Like
That's right.
And
down to
well
7.
and truly solid as well.
Yep.
So not a lot of points dropped. What it'll effectively do is slot him behind the guy he made contact with, so long as Danny can stay within 10 seconds of Marcus, which I'm sure Marcus would love to get by Dan Yeaman right now and try and stretch that gap out. Oh, no!
Oh, trouble and gone! Trouble and gone! A second incident for Watson, and Yeaman is involved as well. Wowee! A second incident for Marcus Watson. Yeaman caught up inadvertently. And that will cost him even more. He'll lose 3 spots now at the end of this race. He may lose a bit more depending upon how race control viewed that incident. Bang. Yeaman was closing the door, but to be fair, Watson dived late.
He was probably... Oh, that's such a hard one. I don't have the ability to slow down and spend time to look at it, but he was probably up alongside. Whether it's going to be deemed a late move, would he have pulled the car up for apex? This is for the powers that be to the side. So, but Cam Dance putting a move on for the lead. Jackson Rahana.
This is quarter snapping. Dance and Rayhana, and Dance is through. The Orbit Drop Bear stable still now on track for 3 from 3 to start the term. 2 to go at the line.
Wow,
that was a great move from Cameron Dance, and it came from absolutely nowhere, Joe. I mean, he's reeled in Jackson Rayhana.
Now let's have a look.
Now, Rayhana's got 2 laps opportunity to set and re-go again.
Yeah, so Jackson's actually caught the curb, which has left him open.
Bang.
Nice move,
brilliant.
too. Left him room on the exit of the second part. So, yeah, great move there by Cam Dance. Such a small mistake by Rayhana, but I think Jackson, he was, last time I actually noticed, he was a couple of seconds up the road. So that's, yeah, obviously Cam's had the pace towards the end of the race, and it shows now he's actually put a gap on Jackson. So big move there.
Indeed.
Leach is he's done it on his own. Oh, yeah, you can't do that on these cars. Tristan McLaren. Oh, just pinched the rears. Oh, unfortunate.
White flag in the air this time by, boys. One more time around. And Harrison Lewis is consolidating nicely in 3rd place. Marcus Watson back to 4th. Yeaman under pressure from Donahue in 5th. Watson trying to put distance between himself and the rest of the pack, but because of the rate of attrition we've had, he'll only fall as low as 7th if he stays where he is, pending further investigation from race control. Cameron Dance is 1 lap from home. The white flag flies with about 35 seconds on the clock, so we will end up going about 21 minutes here in the end.
Harrison Lilas hasn't had the raw pace that he had last week, but he's still in there in the mix. He's sitting in 3rd at the moment, so another big points haul for his championship moving forward.
Dance, Rayhana, Lillis, Watson, and Yeaman. Joe.
I don't want to say. Craig, just tune out for a minute.
Go on.
Marcus Watson ended a 10-second late move for the move.
So that's
on
20.
Yeaman.
That's 20. That's 20. And that's going to drop him to, well, it's only going to drop him down 1 more spot. It's only going to drop him to 8th because Matt Schmidtke's 9th. Schmidtke's got 15 seconds coming his way. Adam Lavis will move up to 9th. And Watson will go from 7th to 8th. Whatever happens from here. But Dance is on his way home. He'll be dancing his way to victory this time round, ladies and gentlemen. This is a magnificent performance. The car coming on later in the piece as they make their way to the final corner. Orbit Drop Bear Motorsport are going to be 3 from 3 to start the campaign, and Dance is on the victors leaderboard now as well. He gets his first win of the season. Joins the winners list alongside Harrison Lewis. Gets the job done over Jackson Rayhana, who gets his first podium finish of the campaign. Then, of course, we go back to Lewis in 3rd. Watson across the line with the fastest lap, but he will drop down the order to... he's going to slot in just behind Lockie Olsen at this stage. But it depends on what Olsen does between here and the line. Let's watch him come over the line. He's past the line, so he's okay. 29.29. He scrapes through half a second on Watson. So Watson goes 8th. Schmitty will plummet down the order to 14th as a result of his 15-second penalty. Adam Lavis into 9th and Miles Burgess 10th. But the winning ways and the victory dance for Cameron Dance and Robert Drop Bear Motorsport. So the winners list now stands at 2, and it's both from the same stable, the 2 teammates. And now the invert pole in all of that will go to Adam Lavis, our good mate from Oz E Races. So there you have it. 1 race done, Joe, and drama right until the end.
Yeah, that was sort of coming. For Marcus, I can see what he was trying to do. He went up there and get that 10-second gap to the guys behind him, which, hey, to be fair, we'd all be trying to do the same thing. But, yeah, unfortunately, here's our results. Cam Dance, Jackson Rayhana, Harrison Lilas, Marcus Watson, you add 20 seconds to that. So that'll definitely slot him down to 7th. Dan Yeaman, Tom Donahoe, Danny Davison, Lachlan Olsen, Matt Schmidtke, Adam Maverick, Miles Burgess, Tyson Broad, Tristan McLaren, Travis as a party, and Lachlan April round out 15. Sam Katakazunas, Martin Davis, Nathan Michael, Bobby Camo, and Jason Wood.
A magnificent result for quite a few people in that race, but also disappointment for several as well. Guy Leach finished a lap down. Hain was 3 laps down. He'll get classified just on 75%. David Baz won't. Julian Mookie, Phil Otto, David Hain, Aidan Luthwaite, Jackson Dial, Chris Stark, a non-starter, so too Thomas Cole. It'll be interesting to see how many of the guys that parked up early decide to grace us with their presence for race 2, Joe, and we're about 40 seconds away from finding out.
Yeah, that's right. One of the guys I want to point out there, I can't remember the last time I seen him in a car like this on a Friday night. Our very own Paul Wood from Aussie Races Stable is also the club's chief steward. He's out there running around in the Super Formula. So good to see Woodsy join us on a Friday night. So, yeah, Greg Heaney, he got the better of him by a second. So, yeah, a bit of a battle in there for Heaney, Wood and Barchin to finish out the race. But, look, it's a great track for a downforce car like this. I mean, we've all seen how well Formula One race with these cars, with this style car, rather, around this track. So, it's... yeah, it's definitely putting on good racing. Very hard fought for positions, though, and it's a difficult car. Like, yeah, you really got to be on your A game to get the best out of these.
Indeed, to do. Who's your tip for race 2? Because overtaking opportunities have been hard to come by tonight, and you've really got to work for it, as we saw with Cameron Dancy eventually reeled in Jackson Rayhana. But we've got an extra 10 minutes and a CPS to worry about this time.
Yeah, do. Yeah. So the guys are forced into pitting, which, you know, you can use it to your advantage as well. You know, do you pit early? I mean, depending on where you are, if you're down the back, you'd pit early because you're not going to come out in traffic. If you're up the front, you want to try and pit as late as you can so that you don't pit and come out into traffic. So it's 6 to 1, half dozen the other, wherever you are, might be on track at any given time. But here's your starting grid.
Lavis and Schmidtke, the 2 teammates, will lead us to turn 1. Lachlan Olsen, Dan Yeaman, Marcus Watson, Harrison Lillis, Jackson Rayhana, and Cameron Dance remain the top 10 on the grid. Now, it's interesting. All those penalties are applied after the fact. So Schmidtke's 15 seconds, Watto's 20 seconds are applied after the server is complete. They can't be applied internally within the server on the go. We have to do it manually after the fact. So apologies for that one. It's one of those little 1%ers that iRacing still needs to perfect. Often racing, someone got left behind. I think it was Miles Burgess. On the way down towards the first quarter, he dropped 3 spots. Have a look at them. They're gobbling him up. Down we go to turn 1. Let's wait and see. Oh, geez, hold your breath. Do we get through unscathed? Oh, almost. We're good for the moment. We're away. Race 2 at the Nurburgring in the Spreyton Ciders Super Formula Series. It's a good clean start for the most part. Only 28 starters. No David Hain, no David Baz, no Aidan Luthwaite, no Julian Mookie. So we've lost 1/7 of the field for this second race here in Germany. Good start, Schmidtke. Even better start, Dan Yeaman. Geez, he was impressive off the line. He's up 4 spots. Marcus Watson up 3. Harrison Lillis up 2. And Cameron Dance up 2, making moves early, Joe.
Yeah, Dan Yeaman, he's really putting the moves on. Gun up 4. Marcus just followed him 3, right? Mavs dropped back a little bit. But, we got Jack O'Dial. He was up. He just dropped back a couple of... That one. Danny Davison, he's dropped back three spots from where he started, which... I wouldn't have thought that would have been the case, but here we are. Turn 1's very tricky at this place, so especially with a car like this, lots of horsepower. You build your speed up to turn 1, you still got cold tyres. You put your foot on the brake, and it's a crapshoot whether going to pull up or not. Travis has a party. He's had a bit of got a bit of wiggle under the brakes, did he?
Yeah.
Over the curb.
Oh, jeez.
Oh, yeah, he slid.
Can hardly pull them up. So as the party rejoins at the back of the field, at the front of the field, Dan Yeaman gets by Matt Schmidtke around the outside to go to the lead. Watson is third, Lavis, Lillis and Olsen, and around the outside there you've got Lachlan Capel and Tom Donahue arguing over the same piece of real estate as well.
I'll let people know where everybody's back at the moment, so... No real big moves at the moment other than Jack O'Dial. He's up 12 positions from his up position already, so he's into the top 20 now. Lap 2 is only, we're only 1/10 into the race, so he's, oh no, not even that, sorry, nearly a 10th into the race. How many laps are we getting this one, including the pit stop?
Geez.
Bobby Camo?
Yeah. Bobby's gone. Look... If I was a gambling man, remembering that you've got to take 6 seconds out of your calculations here, folks, because you're looking at... So let's calculate on about 1:35 a lap. So 3:10, 6:20, 9:30, double that to 19 minutes and you'll have 12 laps. And then you get another 9.5 to 28.5. So that's 18. Plus the pit lane transit, I reckon you're looking at 19. How'd I go?
Oh, I'm not sure. I'll do
9.5 and 9 is 19. 9.5 is 28. Yeah, 28.5 and then 1. But there'll be enough carryover time, I would imagine, with the transit of the lane to enable that 19th lap. I've worked that out far easier than I worked out the first race. Jesus, I was struggling. Into pit lane already. Burgess, Rillis, and Katakazina. So too McLaren and Camo. All on pit road early, these boys. Dive early, go for the traffic, go for the long run, and go for clear air.
Yes. Parties. He carried on so much. Burgess. Yeah. Wallace. Up the front. Bit of a battle going on here. 40 so 100 seconds a lap. Average probably. Yeah, well, I think you come up with 19, didn't you?
Yep.
Yeah, we're about that. Oh, Adam Hayne. Had an incident.
We're looking all good.
So I throttled up
We're
too
right.
quick. Yeah, tight off the corner. You got to be very gentle on the throttle.
Always. And that's the thing. As these guys continue to learn these cars, they're going to work out those idiosyncrasies, aren't they, Joe? It'll take time and it'll take some brain training on their part as well, but eventually they'll get there.
Yeah, definitely. I think the problem with because they're a turbo car, even at lower RPM, they just produce so much torque that as soon as you squeeze the throttle at sort of any RPM range, they just break the rear tyres loose. They're a real monster of a car to drive. You certainly can't be as aggressive with the throttle as you can in IndyCar with these. They don't have that. Like the power delivery is nothing like an IndyCar. They're very, very aggressive on even like 50% throttle. Oh, Sam Katakazernis, one of our early pit stop runners. And pinch rear, I'd say, on the brakes, or as you grab too much curb. Oh, too deep.
And that's the risk you run, isn't it? That's the gamble you take by pitting early. You don't give yourself any leeway, any leverage if you make a mistake later in the piece. 5-second penalty for Martin Davis for racing room on Sam Catakazinas on lap 2. So Davis gets an invoice as well, but I would argue that Catakazinas has already copped a secondary invoice to that through his own doing. Yeaman, Watson, Schmidtke, Lavis, Rayhana, Dance, Capel and Olsen at the moment. The top 8 leading the way. Donahue and Broad in behind that. Good line of cars behind Adam Lavis just lining up at the moment and following him along. It's allowing Watson, Schmidtke and Yeaman to bolt clear. Watson fastest lap of the race, 1:36.559.
Rayhana's currently up 4. Sitting in 5th. Cam Dance, race 1 winner. He's still behind him. So the way they're finishing at the moment, it'll be... I see with Dan Yeaman out the front, he'd almost take honours. I think he finished 4th in the last one. So a 4 and a 1 would certainly be a 1 and a 5 or a 2 and a 5 and a 1 and a 6. So yeah, Dan's look good if these guys can be held up by Marcus and Matt for the duration of the race. It'll look him, but we've got a fairly long race tonight. WBR liveries. Got. Oh, there we go. There's one. Adam Hayne.
Oh, hang on. Yep, David Hayne to pit lane as well. So, well, he didn't start the race. Adam Haynes retired. Sam Catakazinas back into pit lane, so that's his second stop now. So, just about put a line through him as far as this race is concerned. Harrison Lillis fastest lap of the race on the comeback trail after stopping early. And also, Joe, importantly, with the clear air, making the most of it, 1:36.521. Next target for him is Travis Azzopardi. But once he gets by Trav, he's in the midst of all those guys that are yet to stop. Yeaman leads it. Him and Watson, positions gained 5, 4 each. Oh, now 5 for Rayhana as well. Got by Lavis and then went off the road very briefly. Dance is in behind Lavis, Capel, Olsen, Donahue as well. So here it is. Jackson Rayhana setting it up, getting by Adam Lavis and then quickly putting it on the grass. Watch this. Deep. Too deep.
They'll slow down there, but he'll probably keep clear of Mav. No, he's had to...
No.
Oh, jeepers, that was close.
He had to get out of it. Yeah, Lavis and Dance have both converged and swamped him.
Right back. Oh, Dance has got by Mav, and so is Jackson.
Yeah. It's all happening, as they say in the classics. All happening out there.
Mav's been the big loser there. Even Lockie Capel's gotten by him in that one.
Lavis drops to 7th, but what he'll use to his advantage, Joe, is a little bit of juice saving, fuel saving. He'll use that to his advantage.
Loves saving a bit of fuel.
Try and gain a couple of spots back that way.
On the button there for Guy Leach. Jacko Dial, he's up 20 positions in the race. He's sitting 12th. Great drive by Jackson. Issue for Miles Burgess.
It's a long way to go for Jacko, but that's a good recovery so far. I should say, Joe, from the rear of the grid to 12th, but he's still got that CPS to come.
Yeah, he certainly does. Unlucky there. Dan Yeaman, clean pair of heels at the moment, out front of Marcus Watson to the tune of 1.7. 4.5 back from to Schmidtke. Then Cam Dance, got the eyes on there, so he can see Matt. He's just got to try and catch him. Update on their penalty. Martin Davis set Catakazinas as a 5 penalty.
Yep.
Two, Harrison Lilas. Two, and Miles safe rejoin. So that's where we're at with that stuff at the moment. Oh, Woodsy, what have you done? No. Woods on the outside. Oh.
Oh, contact and gone. Wow, that's a big send.
Oi.
Woodsy's going to end up on the tow rope and on pit lane. Won't be surprised if that
Nathan Michael.
Whiskey Business Racing entry, Nathan Michael, goes with him. Watch this for a wild ride. Down the inside. Oh. Now, we probably need to see that from the onboard of the Whiskey Business entry, to be fair, Joe. Just to see if the gap was closed or closing, or... Oh, geez, when they're side by side like that. Oh, no. Oh, geez.
Oh, there he is here.
Yeah, there. Yeah.
Now that
We'll go back with the onboard.
List, I can... Oh.
Here it comes, ladies and gentlemen. Uh-oh. There we go.
Oh, broke it.
Righto. Oh, no. Oh, dear. 3, 2, 1. Watch this from onboard with Michael.
Oh, no.
I don't know.
Oh.
I don't know. I think, well, I'm unsure whether Woodsy's got a case to answer for there or whether it's a racing incident, because for mine, Joe, maybe my eyes are deceiving me, but it didn't look like there was much movement at all.
No.
From either.
A little bit of net code, maybe. Because what the net code, what it can do, you can get in a situation like that, and if iRacing thinks that you guys are going to touch, it actually makes it happen. So, and it like locks the wheels together and just forces. And I mean, last night was a classic example with there was contact between myself and Art Baz in race 2, I think, of the V's. I was actually going like slightly right. There was plenty of room on the left for Art. He come right as well. There was a minor touch, and it was like it just locked his right rear wheel, and it just turned him hard right and up over the nose of my car. Like, I was moving right to make sure that there was no contact, but iRacing had, you know, whether there was a bit of overlap and a bit of a touch or whatever. But the reaction from his car was certainly one of. No, I'm not going to get in trouble with the female persuasion. I'll just say that it overreacted for no plausible reason.
Yes. I love it. Well played, Joe.
That's how to get in trouble without getting in trouble.
From Michael Heaney. Yeah, correct. Absolutely. Yeaman, Watson, Schmidtke, Rayhana, Cable, the top 5, and Dance without a front wing. Dance without a front wing. What's going on here, please?
Oh, here we go.
Cameron Dance does not have a rear wing, I should say. Let's have a look at this.
Has there been contact from behind? Oh, over the...
Oh, wow.
Oh, back into the fence.
That's a very soft touch to lose the rear wing. I'm not sure I'm a fan of the iRacing matrix there.
Oh, that thing looks more like a P34 Tyrrell with no rear wing on it at the moment. Yeah, so he's dropped a fair old number of positions there before he actually managed to get into the pit. So he'll be frustrated by that. He would have lost quite a few positions. So I don't know how he's going to go by the end of the race. We're nearly approaching the 30-minute mark, so he'll have the 15-minute mark of a 30-minute race rather. So he'll have a long haul to get back up the front in this one.
Indeed. Yeaman and Watson 135, 893 to this point. Schmidtke, Rayhana, Capel, Broad, Lavis, Olsen, Donahue, Leach, and Dial the top 11 at this point. That is a great charge back from Jackson Dial, but it's not done yet. Davison, Barchin, Davis, Wilkinson, Heaney. Safety license point penalty for Paul Wood for avoidable contact on Nathan Michael. Okay, they've... Oh, geez. Race control's come down on the chief steward of the club. Oh, boy. No friend, no foe, no favouritism here, ladies and gentlemen. Geez, I like it.
Will they have a job by Monday?
Correct. Yes, that's right.
I'm just playing. I'm playing.
I love it.
I love one of the fairest guys in the club is absolutely Paul Wood. And he, so anyone who's raced him, and he's probably more well known for GT4, GT3 racing above anything else. No, he's probably one of the fairest drivers, which is why he's in the role he's in. Guys are battling hard.
Well, there's a few close battles on the circuit. I mean, Adam Lavis has Lachlan Olsen and Tom Donahue for company. The question is, how late are they going to leave it, Joe? We're past half race distance now. Lap 10 of what we suspect will be 19. These guys haven't come to the lane yet. Yeaman's coming back round onto the main straight. Watson's following. They're going to burn the tank dry. You get the feeling. They're going to run long and then go for the short splash and dash. Harsh considering the track curves to the right. Yeah, that's fair.
That's true.
20 Simpson as well. That's, yeah. I'm inclined to agree with you, John, actually. That was why I looked at it. That's why I said maybe a racing incident. But more to the point, Miles Burgess and Adam Hayne are parked up and done for the night. Woodsy's about to be, may as well be, actually. He won't finish on 75% distance if he's in the lane for too much longer. Sam Katakazinas is still circulating, but he is the better part of a lap down. Everyone down to Jason Wilkinson yet to stop.
Travis
Azzopardi and Phil Otto as well. So about 19 drivers yet to stop, Joe, and now it's getting a bit antsy.
Yeah, these guys are starting to realise we're almost 2/3 of the way through. There's a pit stop to go. They want clear track and make the most of what they can out of these tyres. I would imagine you put a fresh set of tyres on when you pit with these. So I know you can't take fuel, but I'm pretty damn certain you don't go to the pits and not take tyres. Why they're pitting anyway, but you want to use up the last of what you got left, and want to get a bit of clear track and get your head down for the run to the flag. Now, if I was Guy Leach here, I would pit. Like, he's in the middle of a pack. Yeah, just pit, get out of it, and like roll the dice to try and get a bit of fresh open track in front of you. Tell you what, Dan Yeaman
is under pressure.
He's going to start sweating. Young Marcus has reeled him in.
He's controlled the race perfectly up until this point, but this is the way the first race played out, albeit with Cameron Dance and Jackson Rayhana, right? And Rayhana did all the heavy lifting, led much of the way. Dance eventually reeled him in. Right now you're seeing exactly the same thing play out, except with Watson chasing Yeaman. And behind that, Rocky Cable's gone to third. Lachlan Cable has gone to third. Rayhana and Schmidtke back in behind him. Solid run from Schmidty. There's no doubt about that. Still, obviously, the pit stop to come, but he's sitting nicely. Could well be on for a top 10 finish to rewrite the wrongs of that 15-second penalty he copped earlier in the night. We'll go around the grounds shortly as well, folks. As soon as we wrap up here, we'll have an update from the Gabba, where it'll be about three-quarter time between the Bulldogs and the Lions. We'll have a full-time update from the Panthers Rabbitohs NRL match as well. Don't forget, once we're done, Fox Sports has the British Open for you, the golf, if you're keen on staying up and burning the candle at both ends, burning the midnight oil. And of course, if you're an insomniac, the Tour de France is also on SBS. So a big night of sport ahead. 11 minutes to go. Oh, jeez. Yeaman, Watson, Capel, Rayhana, Schmidtke, Broad, Lavis, Olsen, Donahue, and Dial. See, and this is Dial proving the sort of performer he is and the sort of pace he exerts, but he had to weave his way through the traffic to get there, all right? And that's really good to see that he's got back to 10th. He's on this battle pack now. He's a key contender for serious championship points in the back end of this race, but he had no luck whatsoever in that first race. So nice to see him having a clean and clear run so far. I'm hoping I haven't just put the mock on him that either.
No. We'll go elsewhere in the race and try not to the commentators curse on him. Yeaman seems to have lifted his pace a little bit on Marcus. He's kept him at that 1 second mark for a little while now. Good drive for Dan. He'll have the bit between the teeth to get a good result here. Lockie Capel, solid in third. He's up 12 positions where he started, so solid night for Lachlan. Jackson Rayhana was further up earlier on till he had that bit of a tap. Matt's hanging tough. He's fifth at the moment. It's a good result for Matt. He'll be this put a lot of confidence points in his bank, in the back of his brain for the series going forward. He's He's a good lad, and not only that, but he's also very much so a confidence racer. Like if he has a good result, you always find it'll send a trajectory for Matt with his results. So he'll be looking forward to a solid finish in this one. Yeah, and somewhere in the middle of the top 10 there, he'll be very happy with that.
Indeed. And again, it's not one tonight. It's one in 8 weeks' time when we get to round 10, when we get to Suzuka. And we've got 80 minutes of racing that night. So 2 20-minute heats and a 40-minute enduro of sorts. Whereas we've had 20-minute and 30-minute races in the first 2 rounds. And that will be the same for rounds 3 through 9 to get us to the grand finale. There'll be 2 invert situations in that final race as well. So a lot to look forward to. Yeaman, Watson, Capel, Rayhana, Schmidtke, Broad, Davis, Olsen, Dial, and Donahue at this point. And still no interest in going to pit lane on lap 14. Fastest side of the race, Harrison Lillis. Harrison Lillis, 135, 172. Thanks for coming. Nicely done. There he is.
Got the lashy band wound up.
The Orbit drop bear stable giving off BMW vibes with that livery. Have a look at the white, the blue, the red. Real BMW vibes about that. I like it. A bit of a step away from their purple and yellow.
Yes, definitely. Cam Dance, so after backing the fence earlier on, he's down starting position. Yeah, so he won race 1. Currently sitting 17th, and he's had his pit stop too, don't forget. So he would have taken his tyres on that stop along with the fast repair. So he does not have to stop again by the end of the race, but I mean, might get to the tail end of the top 10. A lot of the guys up the front there are hit. Yeah, so actually he's the first guy who has pitted. So Scott Barchin, Danny Davison, Tom Donohoe, Guy, Jackie Dial, Lockie Olsen, Adam Maverick, Tyson Broad, Jackson Rayhana, Lachlan Capel, Marcus. So, and the next one behind Harrison it is Cam Dance. No,
so a lot to play out.
Who I was talking about, yeah. So Harrison's pitted.
Yeah.
Well, Harrison and Cam Dance are both pitted.
And on the tow rope now is Danny Davison as well. So that's unfortunate for Danny. Have a look at the front end of that. She's crunched. She's absolutely crunched.
Here.
I dare say Danny's night is done. Oh, no.
Is that Jake? Is that Jackson?
Whoever he was caught up with there. Yeah.
Guy Leach. Yeah, so Guy's backed up, and Tom Donahue.
Tom got into him, yeah.
Got into the rear of him. Yeah,
there's the contact there, and poor old Danny's had nowhere to go. So Donahue loses his rear wing as well. That will trigger those two to come to pit lane this time by, you would imagine. Dan Yeaman still continuing to control the race, lap 16. 24 and a half minutes gone here. The platforms of the Gentleman Sim Racing Club across Facebook, Twitch and YouTube. And the question is, if the boys at the front of the field, like Harrison Lillis, can stop on lap 2, that probably means that these guys are eyeing off somewhere as late as lap 17 for their stop to come in, splash and dash and get home. So it will be a case of being on the track for a very short period of time before the checkered flag flies, Joe. And maybe, I'm not sure if there's a tyre advantage to be had here, whether they do change tyres or not. I'm not sure of those regulations.
Well, you can't take fuel, and you've got to stop anyway, so I'd say you probably have to take tyres anyway. Jacko Dodges, he's really got the bit between the teeth. Him and Lockie Olsen have had a good battle here. They've had a couple of passes on over the course of the last lap here, so Jackson's got the eyes on. Now, as I was saying before, like, I would be ducking to the pits here. He might probably feel like he's being held up. Whether he decides to pit, try and jump him in the pit cycle. They're putting on good racing, though.
Absolutely they are. And there was a lot of interest generated around the club in the off season as well, Joe, in the term break, because everyone was pumped up and excited when the club decided to phase out SFL for a term and bring in the big daddy of Super Formula, and that is what we've got on screen right now. And it's generated interest from drivers beyond that SFL cohort as well. And it's good to see that the support remains there. And these guys are up for the challenge, and the racing, okay, it's not quite as intense as, say, an IndyCar or a Formula V or a Mazda MX-5 or even a GT3, but it's good. There's battle packs right throughout the field, not as deep and dense as the
there's going to be trouble in that one.
The IndyCars, Schmidt's been hung out to dry. But at least it's not a processional sort of follow the leader, elongated cruise session. You know, these guys are having to work hard.
Oh, definitely. A car like this there's not really much cruising in this. I'd say that's probably going to be a late dive and a penalty coming Tyson's way. But look at that. Although Schmidt is back in front of him, so he must have got back by Broad. Wouldn't let him by. I think Broad might have redressed. Yeah, look at this. Yeah, so Tyson's known he's going to get a penalty for that. So smart move by Tyson. He's done the best thing he can do. So he might get he may still a safety point. That, but they won't slap him with a time penalty. Jacko Dole.
And Jacko Dole getting by Scotty Barchin for 9th. Have a look at that. Holy moly. How good. Now, actually, here's the other thing as well. I'm just having a look at our regulations here, Joe. There's nothing in our pre-race briefing about CPS, but we know how this works, right? If it's in the written agreement, well, it's in the spoken agreement within the drivers, technically all these guys 1 through 11 are coming in this time by, aren't they?
Yeah,
because the white flag's going to fly this time by.
Yep. Yeah, absolutely. Well, as far as I know, there's a CPS in these cars.
I haven't got anything on my run sheet here that says, because it says Mazda MX-5s, yes, GT3, yes, V8 supercars, yes, Porsche Cup, yes. There is nothing in there about Super Formula in the run sheet, on the regulations, on that briefing document that everybody has read to them in the server before they line up on the grid. There's nothing there about a CPS. But if there were CPSs last week, then obviously, you know. And if Harrison Lewis has gone to pit lane and Cameron Dance has gone to pit lane, then, you know, it would lead... Well, Cameron Dance went because he had no rear wing, obviously. But if Harrison Lewis has gone to pit lane and nobody else has, then, well, they're not going to pit lane. So there you go.
Yep, so there's no CPS because these guys
have
just taken the white flag.
That's right. So therefore I'm now not sure why Harrison Lewis stopped in the first place, what the cause of that was. So an out-and-out 30-minute sprint.
Okay.
And it's going to be won by Daniel Yeaman from Marcus Watson at this stage. Good recovery from Watson. And Lockie Capel up 12 spots and Jack O'Donnell up 23. Very, very impressive charge from both of those men. Harrison Lewis has got by Barchin and Leach for 10th. But, yeah, that's a strange one now for me. If Lewis has come to pit lane and only come back out in 10th, then, yeah. Wow.
Maybe incident points?
Well, no, it was lap 2. How's he going to rack up incident points on lap 2? I mean, yeah, it wasn't too wild for Harry from what I saw at the opening 2 laps. But meanwhile, at the front, Darren Yeaman's controlled this race beautifully from the outset. Up 5 spots in the early stages, took advantage of some misfortune for a couple of drivers around him, and will cruise to victory lane to keep the winning run, I should say, on song for the Orbit Drop Bear Motorsport stable. Yeaman's victorious in race 2 of round 2 of Spreyton Ciders Super Formula. Keeps the winning run alive and kicking for the Orbit drop bear stable. Tyson Broad late move on Matt Schmidtke, no further action because it was redressed. Lachlan Capel steals the fastest lap of the race in the final lap of 1:34.757. Marcus Watson in for second. Lachlan Cable, Jackson Rayhana up 5 spots for fourth. Tyson Broad, Matt Schmidtke, Lachlan Olsen, Adam Lavis, Jackson Dial. That's a great drive. 23 spots in this field. That is scintillating stuff from him in 30 minutes in 19 laps of racing. And Harrison Lillis. Cameron Dance off the road. Cameron Dance off the road. Cameron Dance gets back on. He's going to have to limp it to the line. He's 14th at the moment. Cameron Dance, here he comes to the final corner. Not a memorable second race for him. Broad,
Crash on that?
Schmidtke, Schmitty 6th, and Olsen, Lavis, Dial, and Willis the top 10. Let's have a look at what happened to Schmitty. Barchin 11th, Leach, Davis, Dance, and Wilkinson to 15th. Oh, Schmitty. No.
There's a party.
Heaney in for 16th, McLaren, Zamora, Donahue, and Otto. Whoa, that's a party. Good evasive action from whoever that was. Nathan Michael, I think. Or someone within the whiskey business stable. My goodness. And this is what happened to Cameron Dance on the run to the line. Oh, jeez.
Yeah, no worries at all, Craig. Thank you.
You're more than welcome anytime. Danny Davison, a retirement. Bobby Camo parked up. Paul Wood, Miles Burgess, Adam Hayne didn't make it to the finish. We had 4 non-starters as well. Let's have a look. With regards to that 75% calculation for Danny Davison, 19 divided by 15. No, sorry, go 15 divided by 19, 78.9. He will get lucky. He will get lucky on that one. Well, Danny Davison, he will be classified. He'll be classified 24th. He will score points. Bobby Camo, however, will not. Needed to get 14.25 laps done. Bobby's registering 14.03. Davison 15.05 is home on 25% on the 75% rule. We've got Jackson Rayhana and Tyson Broad jumping in for a chat. So in the end, yeah, a disappointing run for a few. Tom Donahue down 14 spots. Danny Davison down 20. Sam Catakazinas, you'd normally expect him to be a little bit further up the field than that. Miles Burgess didn't come home. 13 positions gained for Guy Leach and Scott Barcham. 23 for Jack O'Donnell and 12 for Lockie Capel, who stole the fastest lap in the final lap. Oh boy, good stuff. So another week, another sweep for Orbit Drop Bear, but we've added 2 winners, 2 names to the winners list: Cameron Dance and Daniel Yeaman. 0.7 the winning margin. Marcus Watson leaves with 2 top 10 finishes to his name and 2 10-second penalties as well, but he served them in race 1. And that will only impact that result, a clean run for him in the second race. Tyson Broad's here, so too Jackson Rayhana, 4th and 5th tonight. Might start with you, Tice, up 7 spots in that second race. Good recovery, considering that he started 12th for race 2. Talk us through the challenges of race 1, please.
Yeah, getting taken out is quite interesting. Start of race 1. Lost my front wing, so had to pit, and then yeah, just a matter of just clawing my way through to P12 again, and then yeah, more of the same in race 2, getting back to where I probably should be from the start. So yeah, it was good to get a top 5.
How are you enjoying the challenge of learning these cars and racing them, mates? I mean, I was just saying to Joe, in the off-season, they were the big rave. It was the talking point, wasn't it? The change, the transition from, well, firstly, on a Friday night, IndyCar to Super Formula, but then anyone that was in Super Formula Light, that's not there on the calendar at the moment. So the offer is there to go and race Super Formula. How have you enjoyed the step up and the challenge?
Yeah, it's definitely a good challenge. Really wanted to drive these things when they first came out, but just didn't really have any good leagues to race in. But no, this is good to have consistent numbers in these cars, and yeah, these things are quite really good fun to drive. So yeah, quite happy with the decision to put these in.
Indeed. And not too bad a recovery in the second race, but again, it's about limitation, right? So a 12th and a 5th you've probably had a better result than a few drivers out there, and you've still got 8 rounds in terms of what's left in the championship to go about your business and try and bag some results in, you know, a view to trying to net a top 3 points finish when we get to Suzuka. The problem's going to be the way in which your team is dominating this championship at the moment. The biggest threat to you is your own teammates.
Yeah, there's not really anything championship-wise I'm going for. It's more just sort of have fun, try and get as many strong results as I can when I rock up. So yeah, that's mainly the goal for this season, is just to have fun and try and do as well as I can.
And good to go racing around the Nurburgring as well, mate. I mean, we've been more synonymous with the Nordschleife in recent weeks, but nice to go back on the Grand Prix circuit, far better suited for these type of race cars.
Yeah, definitely. Couldn't imagine chucking these things around the Nords. So yeah, probably good flowing track in a way, but obviously the tight arena section to start off the lap definitely was quite interesting tonight, especially with the set that iRacing provided us.
Indeed. Talk to me about the thoughts on what's coming up. I mean, well, obviously we've got some great GT3 racing and supercar racing and whatever else to come. But when we look at I think Joe will be able to bring it up on the screen for us. When we look at the Super Formula calendar for what's ahead, firstly, are you liking the fact that you know that it's sprint racing each week, 20 minutes, 30 minutes, and Spa's the next stop?
Yeah, I like the 2-race format. I think maybe if we spice it up all around and see how it works, adding a CPS in would be quite interesting. I don't know what the others would feel about it, but I feel as though just spice it up a little and just see what happens. If it doesn't work, and hey, we at least tried it for a round, and yeah.
Well, to be fair, I wasn't here last week, so I arrived expecting a compulsory pit stop, and then was a little bit bemused when it didn't happen. Especially when your teammate Harrison Lillis ended up on the lane on lap 2. Any idea what the cause of that was? Because that took him out of contention.
Front wing loss.
Okay, yep, that'll do it. And they're so delicate, aren't they? I mean, Cameron had a smack with the wall, and it was a light touch, and he lost his rear wing.
Yeah, open wheelers by nature aren't really super sturdy. A lot less sturdy than a supercar. But yeah, it's definitely something you just got to make sure you don't make contact with anyone to avoid ruining your car, even a very small amount.
All right, mate, very nicely done. What's next on your itinerary? And when you look at that schedule in front of us on the screen there, what's your pick? What are the tracks you like? What are the tracks you're thinking, pass?
Honestly, don't really know. I mean, Spa will obviously suit these cars being high downforce and lightweight, so probably rock up for that. But yeah, I don't know about the rest of the schedule. I'd have to just think about it a little.
All right, very nicely done, mate. Good to catch up as always. We'll let you go. Enjoy the rest of the night and the weekend. When do we see you next on the grid? Is it Monday night or Wednesday night?
I have no idea. You could possibly see me on Wednesday night. I haven't rocked up so far this season, but as soon as I had a very good VA Pro round, maybe I'll rock up and yeah, see what it's like.
All right, very nicely done. Good to catch up as always, mate. The team's on a roll to start the season. Enjoy the weekend, and we'll see you next week.
Well.
Dan Yeaman's joined us, Jackson Rayhana, and Lockie Capel as well. Round 1 winner in the GT Pro Invitational Series. Slid into the booth, slid onto the platforms of the GSRC. Very nicely done. Might start with you, actually, Lockie. Nice performance, mate. Obviously, race 1 not necessarily going according to plan, 19th, but that set it up nicely for you in race 2. You charged through the field, and you finished with the fastest lap.
Yeah, it was a good race at the end of it. Never driven these cars before, so I thought I'd have a go, I guess. And I guess it worked out well. But race 1, I was actually looking okay there. Had a little bit of a wheel spin moment and then got, unfortunately, collected in someone else's pile-up. So that sort of happened. But race 2, yeah, it was actually quite fun to charge through the field. I was kind of aiming for a top 10 invert, so I guess I made it better for myself, putting myself on the grid in 15th. So played the strategy nice and well, just conserving the push to pass into the end, and then yeah, Jackson just couldn't get me at the end. It was pretty close though. Very, very close times between us. The last, say, 5-10 laps or so.
Yeah, absolutely. And apologies too, folks. Normally I have the results sitting right there in front of me, but Joe's timing screen, and he might be able to fix this for me. He might not be able to, but his timing screen is going through the race again, lap by lap. So we can normally show you the replay, and that timing screen doesn't move. But right now it's very
Doing
off-putting for
something
me because it's going back through and replaying the timing screen in the race as well. So I got no idea what's going on at this moment. Hopefully we'll have some points updates from Adam Lavis before we sign off this evening. There we go. That's better. Thank you, Joe. You've done it beautifully, mate. Thank you.
I'm just showing at the end of the race.
Thank you. Yeah, and that's the point. Third for Lockie in that second race, up 12 spots from 15th on the grid. As I said, when I saw him in 7th there, I was like, hang on, it's plus 12 from 19. Anyway, it doesn't matter. 15th, obviously, yeah, not quite on the invert, but ride your luck, right? There's always an incident or two in an invert situation, be it a car-to-car contact or drivers tripping up. These machines have been a challenge for everyone to get their head around and learn. Firstly, as someone that, specialises in the tin tops, how are you finding the open wheeler and particularly the Super Formula? Because it's the first time we've seen it here on the platforms of the GSRC.
Yeah, I think it's a good thing that you guys have added this to the roster. I think generally this is missing, as I think Tyson mentioned, it's missing any sort of series to run in. It was very tricky for me to drive on my old wheelbase, but now that I've got a VRS wheelbase, it's a lot easier. I can actually feel the car a lot more, so I can drive it necessarily. It feels like, yeah, I can actually control it because it really is something completely different from what I'm used to. The V8s have got power, but they've also got, the ability with weight. These things don't have weight. So it's just the power without the weight, which makes it extremely tricky to drive, which is why on starts you can even start in second and or third gear to get the right traction out. So I'm getting used to it. It's not, I was never bad in open wheelers, but I just never liked it. But I can, as I think I showed tonight with a couple moves, still be able to do some of the things I usually do in tin tops. It's just you've got to be a lot more careful with where the car on the outside is going to be when you go for the move. And you're basically positioning, especially on curbs, because these things hate them. You can't hit any curb at all, or else it will just pogo and then spin, as you might have saw with a couple drivers in front.
Indeed. And from your standpoint, how did you find the Nurburgring? Because, again, different horses for courses. Not everyone likes every circuit. Not every circuit suits every car. But the Nurburgring, obviously, it agreed with you tonight.
Yeah, I do like this circuit. I'm not too much of a fan of the chicane choice. I probably would have preferred Beswick, but it actually was a little bit better than what I thought it would be when actually racing it. So that sort of made me question my choices of going, oh, this won't be a great layout choice. But it was, yeah, I think Nürburgring's always a good track to put on for open wheel calendars. It's a shame that Formula One don't go here anymore because I think the racing here was actually quite good. I personally am a big fan of what comes after the Nürburgring, which is the 22 kilometer or whatever it is layout that goes around it, but I would not be putting these things on it just because of how slow they are.
Yeah. Oh, hell no. Agreed. Hey, that result tonight, that's an excellent result for you. Are we going to see, I mean, obviously there's one Friday night that I know you won't be able to line up in these things, and it's towards the back end of the campaign when we've got obviously round, 4 of the GT Pro Invitational Series. The year's getting away from us, right? That at this stage is listed as a TBA circuit, by the way, for our audience tuning in at home. Circuit Park, Zandvoort, Monza and Suzuka to follow that. But is this going to be a regular commitment for you outside of that week that you'll be committed to the GT3 round at Le Mans?
It may. I think I need to see what happens. I've got a lot of other commitments with uni work and that, so it's very difficult to make commitments on Friday nights sometimes. But I think that's what this league is so good about, and that's why I like doing it, because it doesn't matter whether or not you're free or whatever. If you don't really care too much about the championship, it's just a good thing to come in and race. If you've got some free time, just to come in, race with some guys, have a bit of fun. And yeah, I was pretty impressed the fact that I managed to get the fastest lap of the race, which I was definitely not expecting. So it's maybe, we'll see. I think it all depends on circumstances for me.
All right, very nicely done. Speaking of commitments, what's next on the racing schedule for Lockie Capel, please?
Well, we've got Porsche Cup cars on every Monday. Do that with everyone at ERT, with Bowler, Ocean, Hayden, and then we also had Gamble and that doing it, but he's had to pull out, I believe, maybe due to other V8 commitments. But that's a Monday night occurrence, so unfortunately the GTs that you guys do, maybe I can cipher away some rounds there and come join them, because I do really, really love the new GT3 tyre. And then obviously Pro Series on Wednesdays, some other GT3 leagues on the weekends. Then if I can get around to it, I do like to do the NASCARs on early Wednesday nights here, and then possibly the Super Formulas as well.
All right, mate, very nicely done. Sounds like you're going to be loaded with racing commitments throughout the course of this season. Hopefully you find time to juggle everything else and maybe even get some sleep as well. Hey, the other point as well, when you look at the competition of the cohort, the crop around you, I mean, Orbit Drop Bear, Summit SimSport, there's a lot of familiar names here that you're used to in GT3 circles, isn't there? I mean, is that a good thing to have some sort of familiarity with the guys you're up against, albeit in a completely different car and formula?
Yeah, I mean, I know that we all race clean against each other. It's good to build up respect with other people, so that way you sort of race each other a little bit more cleanly as you would with a complete stranger who you don't know, and who maybe sometimes they do a little bit of a questionable move and you don't really like it. So you give them, instead of giving them 1.5 car widths of space, you give them 1.2 or just on 1, just to be a little bit cheeky. But no, it's good. I know that those guys are quick, so it's nice to know that I've got somewhere to race and competitively race whilst also having fun, because I think that's what, as I said, this league does the best.
Indeed. All right, mate. Very nicely done. We'll let you off the hook on that note. We've just gone past 10 o'clock Eastern. We'll hopefully be out of here by 10:30 and 8:30 on the West Coast. Good to see you part of the furniture here, mate. Obviously, part of Brenton O'Brien's ERT stable and part of the ASRG offering as well. Great to have you over here showing your talent on the platforms of the Gentleman Sim Racing Club, and look forward to seeing you on a more regular basis throughout the course of the rest of the term, mate. Go well.
Yeah, thanks.
From Lockie Capel, we've got Jackson Ray Hunter, we've got Greg Heaney, we've got Dan Yeaman, but firstly, going to go around the grounds. Lions leading Bulldogs, 8.5 minutes to play at the Gabba. 73 plays 58, make it 79. They've just slotted a 6-pointer. So the Lions breathing a little bit easier, 21 points with a few minutes to play. Panthers accounted for the Rabbitohs, 30-10 this evening in Friday Night Football. Earlier, of course, the Sharks and Roosters match was played out, and that went in favour of the Roosters. The Sharks, I should say, to the tune of 31 points to 18. And, of course, we've got the British Open underway and Le Tour de France as well, plus MotoGP practice from the Brno circuit in the Czech Republic. How good it is to have that back on the calendar. There's a circuit I'd like to see on iRacing, just quietly. Jackson Ray Hunter, to you. You led it early. Cameron Dance reeled you in. And then in the end, you were able to consolidate and nab a second place finish in race 1, a fourth in race 2, and a pretty good result overall, given that there were a couple of drivers that fought their way back from outside the top 10, a couple of drivers that were in around you in race 1, Danny Davison, Cameron Dance, etc., that dropped out. It's a good haul of points for you going forward in this campaign.
Yeah, mate. Give me 1 second.
I can hear you. Just
Never
so you
mind.
know.
I was in server and I was speaking to, but the server's closed anyway. It doesn't matter. Yeah, no. First of all, great to have Lockie Capel in here. As you spoke about before, it's cool to see guys from teams like ERT and that coming into these platforms and having a crack, especially stepping outside of his comfort zone, I guess, and jumping into one of these things. Like, this is, for me, this is sort of my comfort zone. This is what the stuff that I like, where, like Lockie was really impressive tonight, considering he just said he doesn't really drive these. So hats off to him. Good to see him here. Hopefully he turns up for a couple more rounds. It'd be good to see him. But yeah, like, for me, I'm a little bit disappointed. I think I drove within myself a bit tonight. Just had a really rough run of results as of late. So kind of just thought more about getting a result and bagging some points and actually going for a win. So yeah, race one pressure got to me a little bit, and I just blew the tire off it once Cam got too close. And yeah, didn't really have anything to fight with. And then race two, gave myself some damage, some floor damage, and some front wing damage, running across the grass and hitting the cone, trying to pass Mav. So yeah, that sucked. But as you said, good points. And hopefully something to build on for the rest of the series.
Indeed. And as far as the series is concerned, I know you love your open wheelers. I know you've made that step up from Super Formula Light into these. We know that you're a Super Formula Light champion on the platforms of the Gentleman Sim Racing Club. Sure, the Open Wheel Nationals eluded you. That's something that'll eat away at you until you eventually tick that box, I'm sure. But how have you found, because this is the first time I've had a chance to speak to you about it, how have you found getting yourself acquainted with this car? And, I mean, they look like they're, a mongrel of a beast of a thing to steer around, but it's also a teething phase, isn't it? There's very easy traps to fall into in terms of ways to trip yourself up. And the guys that slipped and slid around the racetrack tonight really found that out the hard way.
Yeah, these things make the SFLs look like or feel like a bit of a toy, to be honest. Yeah, they're just different beasts. Also, push to pass. You've got more stuff to think about. Like, if anything, the SFLs, thinking about tyre wear, just keeping the front alive, and as long as you can do that, you're pretty well okay. But this, you've got heaps of stuff to think about. And if if there were pit stops, if there were mandatory pit stops, that would definitely make things even more interesting, to be honest. But anyway, that's something maybe we can think about going forward. But
so you're surprised that there wasn't that in the regulations, Jacko?
We'll consider it like, if we're doing real world stuff, like Super Formula does have pit stops. Like, they do have tyre stops in real life. Like, I think the races for me are a bit short. Like, I prefer the longer format where you've got time. You've sort of got to plan your race out. You got to think on the fly a little bit. Where these, it's just sprint racing, just go, and that suits some people to a degree, which is not a bad thing. But yeah, I definitely, for me, prefer the longer format, especially in these cars. And also, like, especially with the use of the push to pass, I think 200 seconds to use in 20 minutes is a lot, where, you be having to use it over a 40-minute race would definitely make things very interesting, because you've also got the 100-second cooldown after you've used it. So, yeah, it's just a lot of things to think about. But either way, I'm really, really glad these things have made an appearance this season. I've got to get a hold of them. I think the pace is fine, but I've just got to figure out, I guess, a way to make it feel a bit more comfortable over the course of a run.
Next round of the championship, as Joe reminded us there a few moments ago, will take us to the circuit to Spa-Francorchamps. We're excited about that. What are your thoughts?
Oh, goodness me. Yeah, great track choice. This is going to be a fun one. I think for the Super Formula Lights, it's a little bit too big of a track, because it's very hard to get away from people behind you, and it's exciting to watch. But I think this car will suit Spa a lot better. And there are lots of people who are really, really good at Spa. So I wouldn't be surprised if we get a fairly sizable grid next week. But yeah, I'm a fan, and Hungaroring will be a good one too, I think. And yeah, actually, to be honest, looking at that whole list, I can't see a bad track on there except for the blacked out one, which I'm not sure what that is.
No, neither are we. We're waiting for confirmation on where we're going in week 7 at this point in time. That's the reason it's blacked out at this point in time.
Oran Park would be fantastic.
Wouldn't that be a beauty? Wouldn't that be bedlam? Wouldn't that be fantastic? I mean, let's have a look at the rest of it here, Jackson. I mean, obviously last week not classified DNF. So only really one drop round to play with over the course of the next weeks. How do you approach the championship knowing that that's the case, knowing that the Orbit Drop Air stable are undefeated thus far? They've got 3 different drivers in victory lane, and there's a couple of other really strong contenders that are going to make you work for it as well.
Yeah, look, just glad to get tonight out of the way, glad to get a couple of results finally. It feels like it's been forever. Last season we're on a really, really good run there, and the start of this season's just been dreadful, if I'm honest. So, it's good. As I said, it's probably driven within myself a little bit tonight. So hopefully, with that result out of the way now, I can sort of grit the teeth a little bit more and really get to the bottom of trying to stay out in front for a full race distance. That'll be ideal first, but. Yeah, either way, it's exciting, and also glad the drop bear guys are in for the fight as well. It's going to be a really good championship, I think.
Indeed it is. Looking forward to seeing how it plays out on the, I think it's 6 Friday nights, so I end up here throughout the course of the campaign, including next week. And also, actually, I'm also here for the Hungaroring as well. I think the first one that I miss is Algarve, which I'm a little bit disappointed about. That's Friday night AFL here in Ipswich. I miss Fuji because of karting in Orange, and I miss Circuit Park. No, I miss the TBA round because we're off, and you do too. Actually, that is your drop round, Jackson, come to think of it, because that'll be round 4 of the GT Pro Invitational Series. So, yeah, it's going to be a cutthroat sort of season for you, my friend. Can't really afford a blip in the road. What's next for you as far as iRacing's concerned? Anything on over the weekend, or is the focus now on Monday night?
Honestly, just probably having a chill weekend this weekend. Spa 24-hour last weekend was pretty hectic. So it'll be good to kick the feet up, I think, and just relax this weekend. And maybe some more GT3 practice. I love driving these, but yeah, definitely need some more time in the tin tops. So either way, it'll be good to refresh, start again next week.
Indeed. All right, mate. Go and have at it. Well done. Looking forward to seeing you at VIR on Monday night. Solid result here. Needed it as far as the championship aspirations were concerned. Back on track after the disappointment of last week. Good luck for Spa, and we'll see you there as well.
Thanks, mate, and good job to Dan tonight. Good win. That was really, really solid drive in that final.
It certainly was. His teammate won the opening race. His other teammate won the double last week. And now Dan Yeaman becomes the 3rd different race winner of the season. And he joins us now. Hello, mate. Nice to see you. Well done. I mean, this is familiar territory for you as well because you're here on a Wednesday night every week. But as far as the championship was concerned, Harry came in with the advantage tonight. He's had a little bit of a blip on the road, but the team is looking formidable. Cameron stepped up and delivered the goods in race 1, reeled Jacko in. And then in race 2, as he said, you drove beautifully, worked your way through the field, up 5 spots early on, and then not headed but challenged in the latter stages at least. Very similar narrative to the way that the battle between Jackson and Cameron played out, in the sense that you had that buffer and Marcus ever so gradually chipped away at it and may have had you sweating with a couple of laps to go, but you held him off. Well done.
Oh, thanks, Zach. I mean, look, yeah, tonight we had to sort of build the pace across the course of the evening. Didn't have it when we were back in practice and qualifying. And even in the first sprint race, didn't have it really. And I guess part of it, I think the invert of the top 10 really helped us. Plus, just about as good of a launch I think as I'm ever going to get in this car as well at the start of race 2. Just allowed me to jump up in behind Schmicky and then go from there to contest that race. But 100%, yeah, credit to Marcus after we tangled there at the end of race 1. That second race there, he just piled the pressure on the entire time. Even after making a mistake there, he kept at it. And basically I had to get back into it. I couldn't afford to back off like the way I had all the way to the end. So thankfully, though, I had a push to pass advantage and was able to just then burn away on the button at the end of the race and keep him out of reach and take that checkered flag.
And you mentioned the key point of race 1. It didn't end up being too costly, which is probably the good thing for you. He ended up getting slugged with his second 10-second penalty of the race. But at least the car was drivable to the checkered flag. It could have been a very different second race had that not been the case.
Oh, without a doubt. The fact that I was able to hang off against Tom and Danny at that point towards the very end, just same thing, had enough push to pass to really abuse it at the end of the race and give me a bit of the straight line speed back, because that was where it seemed like the car was definitely down. I mean, yeah, the fact that it had ripped off the entire side pod was exciting, to say the least, once I saw it after the race. Mind you, I knew it had damage, but I didn't know what the extent was whilst driving the thing. But I knew I was slow, so I just had to sort of be a little preemptive on the defense and protect into that final chicane in particular, and that seemed to work out pretty well for me.
Indeed. And of course, now we look at what's left for the rest of the season. Lockie Cable's a contender. Marcus Watson's a contender. Jackson Rayhana's a contender. And there are so many other names that we can add to that list. More than ever, it feels as though if you're going to line up on the Super Formula grid, you are going to actually have to bring your A game every single week.
Yeah, without a doubt, this is a tough car to drive, and you have to really learn it to be able to get the most out of it, and also be unafraid to really lean on the thing too. It's just one of those cars. I mean, most of the open wheel cars really are a case of if you have to lean on them to find the speed, but with the way this thing can generate both cornering and straight line pace, you then have to have confidence in yourself to be able to go and find that pace in a car like this as well. And I think as a result, yeah, it's good to see what that does to the field in terms of the drivers who are up the front and what they're going to do. But yeah, it also makes it a bit of a double knot edge. For example, unfortunately, I was a little worried in race 1 and tripped up my own teammate in Jackson Dial tonight and put him back down the order, and he had to sort of try and work his way through that. And then he was saying, and not to rag on the other drivers he was around tonight, but he just so out of place pace-wise to those drivers that it was actually difficult for him to then sort of go, what he could do with the car and how to adapt was causing him a bit of grief. Just trying to figure out how to set things up to pass people and not run over people at times as well a little bit.
I was going to ask you about that because that's a very good in-depth description of the car that you've just provided for us there, mate, and the ins and outs of driving it. But it looked as though there were a couple of moments for a couple of drivers, and it might have been a lack of respect for the car. It may have been just being a little bit too quick to get on the throttle or the accelerator. We saw the car snap on a couple of occasions, send them pirouetting. Just how delicate have you got to be on the acceleration out of corners? Because as you said, you've got to lean on them, but surely there's a fine line between pleasure and pain.
Without a doubt, it's very easy to overdo it if you stomp the throttle from a third or even a fourth gear corner in these things. It really depends a lot about how much speed you're carrying through the corner and how much aero grip you've got, and also just what the track is, and have you used any curb? Have you upset the mechanical platform of the car, and is it bouncing around? Because if that's the case, then you got to wait a little longer. You got to really try and square the car off and make sure it's dead straight before you stick the throttle in it to 100% at least. You can feed in a bit of throttle, but you got to hold and make sure you've got it stable and ready to go. Because if you give it 100% straight off the corner with any kind of instability or load, sort of putting it sideways, it will bite, and it will bite hard.
Indeed. All right. Thoughts on what's coming up as far as this calendar is concerned? I mean, Hungaroring in round 4, Algarve round 5, Fuji round 6. I mean, whatever you think of the Hungaroring, it's on the schedule. We're going to have to contend with that as best we can. Algarve produces great racing, And next week, of course, and we know that Fuji's capable of great racing, no matter whether you take an open wheel or a tin top there. And next week, of course, one of the great meccas of the world of motorsport in Spa.
Yeah, well, unfortunately, on that note, the next 2 weeks are going to be are not possible for me. Combination of other racing commitments, as well as my new job that I've started this week, means that next week is more sim racing. But on Friday, August the 1st, I will be out of the house and earning myself some dollars. And getting used to working a full-time job that doesn't actually run 9 to 5. So that will mean that my attendance was always likely to be quite partial for this one once again, unfortunately. And that's very much been confirmed as I get things settled in here with this new job.
Well, congrats on the job front. I bet bad luck as well at the same time, because it seems to be that it compromises your ability to really showcase your sim racing talent, mate, because we know what you bring to the table on the broadcast side of things, and the production and the commentary and the insights and that sort of stuff, but also you're a bloody good peddler as well, and you proved that again tonight. Full-time, I don't know, you might have heard me clapping a few moments ago, ladies and gentlemen. It wasn't because of Dan saying that he's out of the cockpit for the next couple of weeks. It's because the Lions have held on in a nail-biter in the end against the Dogs at the Gabba in front of the packed house, 12-14-86 to 12-4-76 in a solid game of football at a ground that got doused in a fairly hefty rain band and thunderstorm earlier in the afternoon. So well done to everybody there, getting wet backsides sitting on the seats on the Gabba grandstands, of course, or in the Gabba grandstands, more to the point, in the unsheltered, exposed areas of that aging stadium in Brisbane, and of course getting knocked down in 7 years' time after the Olympics, which creeping up very quickly, I must say. So obviously the question I got for you, Dan, now that you've confirmed that you're not on this grid for the next couple of weeks, I know we'll probably see you in the booth on Wednesday nights. I'm hoping that's still the case, but what about any other potential racing opportunities for you? Where and when?
Actually, yeah, well, just as Lockie mentioned, there was a Porsche Cup series that I was able to do on a Monday night that I've had a swing at. And for the time being, that will still be possible for me to keep doing as well. So that's been a chance there to run that car again, because it's a car that I've spent a lot of time adminning a series for, and it's been a while since I've driven it. So whilst it's a tough car and a car that can also be a bit of a chore to drive if you don't respect the fact that it's very front grip limited. As long as you do that, it can be pretty fun to race around in. So that's been good to get a bit of driving chops in. It should be good to keep producing most weeks here on a Wednesday night. I do see that I've got a 7 o'clock start next Thursday morning for work, so I may need to speak to Mav about being an apology next Wednesday night so I can get an early night's sleep. Because for me to get into the city at 7 o'clock means probably getting up at about 5:30 or earlier, so that I don't miss the trains into town. For me, anyways. So yeah, we will certainly commit to the GSRC where we can, as a producing and driving as well. Schedules commit. And that's probably about it, really. There is, of course, V8 Scops and Simspeed TV work as well. So hopefully, with the frequency of things like Scops, that'll work. And I think, looking at my schedule for next little while as well, some broadcasting I do on a Thursday night for Simspeed will still be feasible as well.
All right, mate. Very nicely done. It's nice to be in the company of someone as busy as me at the moment. So go well with that. Good luck. Hopefully see you Wednesday night. If not, see you in a couple of weeks' time. Good luck with everything that's going on in the meantime, and well done again on that race win.
Thank you very much, Zach, and cheers to all the boys back at base with Orbit Drop there. And a quick shout out to Revolution Race Gear iLivery, our primary partners. Maybe one day we'll get this thing painted up, but at the moment we'll have to go with the carbon fibre for now at least. It certainly makes a nice look on track if subtle is what you're after.
It pops a little bit, and it takes a bit of getting you used to from a commentary standpoint because we so commonly associate you blokes with purple and yellow, and we're not there yet, but we're working on it. Enjoy the weekend, mate.
Thank you very much, boys. And well, yeah, I'll be busy again, as it turns out, with actually learning how to work an overnight at the G. But yeah, we'll hopefully enjoy ourselves in the meantime.
Indeed. There
Congrats,
he
Dan.
is,
Good
Dan
job,
Yeoman. Yep, well done indeed. From Dan Yeoman and Orbit Drop Bear, who have won the first 4 races of this season, to Greg Heaney to wrap things up. And your season's somewhat compromised because you missed last week deputising for me because I couldn't get back from Cessnock Ipswich in time to broadcast. Good evening to you, well done. Survival out there really was the order of the day, and it wasn't just for you, it was some of your teammates as well, mate.
Yeah, very much so. I mean, so Trav had a really good final lap in the practice session, and then he didn't know where the pace disappeared come qualifying, and then he had some unfortunate loops and so forth, which he says were all of his own doing, and I think he just managed to probably get a little bit too much jandle into the car, and if you've, as Dan said before, if you've got the car unstable or not square and you give it too much right boot, it'll certainly punish you for it, particularly if the turbo is on spool and you give it too much, it'll definitely loop itself, which I found out the hard way coming out of turn 1. But yeah, no, it was a good night all round for us. We turned up with 3 cars and we went home with 3 cars in one piece, which was good. We all made the end, which we were happy with. So, but yeah, no, it was not a bad night.
No, you certainly cannot not ask for much more than that. Your assessment of these cars, mate, I mean, you were 16th in the end, 22nd in race 1, 16th in race 2. Your assessment of these cars and how they perform and whether they're to your liking as a driver, because, you know, different horses for courses, right? Not everyone's going to like them. Not everyone's going to love them, and vice versa.
Oh, look, I enjoy the downforce cars. I just need to learn where the limit is and learn how much I can actually lean on it. I was driving within my known limits tonight, so there was probably more that I could eke out of the car. And push it in certain spots more than I thought I could, or more than I actually was. But with the nights that you're in the booth, I can jump in the car and turn some laps. And when you're not there, I'll keep the seat warm. But no, look, I enjoy driving the car. I know there was talk amongst some of my guys about a suggestion for a slightly faster car for next season, which we can actually paint, being in the McLaren Formula One car, and that's got all of the bells. That's got all the bells and whistles on it. So
yes,
You're a sadist, Greg. I love it.
So if we maybe slot that one in for my guys for next season, and some of the other boys out there that like driving the fast downforce cars, I reckon you probably get some full grids out of it.
Oh, without doubt. Could you imagine the GSRC F1 series? Boy, gee, that'd be fun. And modern day as well. I know we've had the retro, but then, yeah, to go modern day, oh boy, that would be good fun. Assess it for me. I mean, the Nurburgring, good to see you guys get through it. That's great. All went fair and equal. Next week we go to Spa. What are your thoughts immediately with regards to that? And hopefully your teammates can bounce back as well.
I would not be surprised if we end up with close to a full grid. I mean, obviously there was a chunk of cars on the grid tonight. But yeah, I would expect all and sundry to turn up for next week, being it is Spa. Even probably some people that haven't turned too many laps in the car to at least have a crack. But yeah, I'm very much looking forward to next week. Not so much the week after. I'm not a huge fan of Hungaroring.
No, me either. I'm right there with you. You're more than welcome to come and keep me company in the commentary box that week if you want. But in saying that, I'm just having a look through here. Adam Lavis hasn't crunched points, so I'm going to assume that he's got an early start tomorrow morning. So stand by confirmation, I'd say, on Monday night's broadcast of the updated point standings with regards to all of that. How do you feel about GTE around Winton tomorrow night, Greg Heaney? Are you going to line up for that, or is that a hard pass from you?
GTE at Winton.
Yep.
Yes, that was the wheel spin from Joe.
That's a combination. My
An
goodness.
evil combination, yes.
And you thought I was a sadist. My God.
I was grinning like a Cheshire cat when that. I even said I will probably end up with the Xfinity. No, the next best thing, the GTE.
Oh, look, I'd love to be there, but I've got a nephew's birthday party to attend. So we're going to the smokehouse over in Thomastown. So, it's a pass. It's a pass from me tomorrow, but I would like to be there. But that would be that's a very interesting combination. I know when we ran the supercars there, that was interesting enough. Let alone running something that actually has workable downforce.
Yes,
that's insane.
Agreed. But we do like to occasionally, test the waters, don't we, here on the platforms of the Gentleman Sim Racing Club across Facebook and YouTube. Hey, Greg, any comment on last night? And this is a two-pronged question with regards to A, Okayama, and B, Marvel.
I didn't expect anything too great out of Marvel Stadium last night.
Thank you.
Oh, look, there was if we had won that, I would have been asking if hell froze over.
Yep, correct.
But yeah, look, it is what it is, and then find out today that we've sacked the high performance coach. Well, it's about bloody time. And then from last night, I think race one was not too bad. Couple little spot fires here and there that I was contending in, and a couple of good little passes and bits and pieces. I was hoping for a little bit more water, but not to be. But race two was very much a SH1T show for me. It was unfortunate I got caught up with the back of Bondi. I think that was just a misjudgment on my part with the switching of positions down the straight, and me not noticing I had just a minuscule amount of overlap, but not actually overlapped with him. It was overlap left to right as opposed to front to back. And as he's gotten on the brakes, and then I've tried to go that little bit deeper on the brakes, I've clipped him on the left rear corner and sent us both off into the grass. So apologies to Bondi for that one. But by the time I recovered the car and got it back out on track and whatnot, I was like, well, I'm already pushing limits of a drive through, and I'm really not having a great time with this, so I'm just going to put it away. Because from my point of view, there was some moves on from certain drivers in the field, like faster drivers pushing through, trying to push through, that were probably not, some of them probably not in the best positions, but the stewards are there for that role to discuss and so forth. So, but yeah, I was just not enjoying it terribly much myself, so I put it away.
Yeah, that's fair. And that's the thing. Some people are going to love the circuit and others aren't, but it's more triggered by the circumstances directly impacting your particular night and your particular race. And as you say, it was a bit of a turn of a night in the end. All right, well, you'll be happy to know that the Lions got the job done over the Bulldogs tonight. And that puts them firmly in the top two going into a big weekend of AFL. So you'll need to find a second team, I think, Greg, to support when we get to September.
No, I'll just watch something else instead.
Yeah, funnily enough, my mother says the same thing. I often encourage her to come over to the Red bandwagon, but we're not going to be in the finals either, so I don't know who the bloody going to get on and cheer this time around, although it probably will be less frustrating to watch the final series as a neutral, given the way the regular season has played out. Well done again tonight, mate. What's next for the stable? I mean, obviously, we've already covered off Spa, but no doubt numbers out in force on Monday night.
Oh yeah, we'll be in force on Monday again as per usual. So I think last 2 weeks, I think we've had 12 or 13 cars across the 3 servers. So a good showing from our guys. And then Tuesdays, I had a turnaround in the Ferrari on Tuesday at the Bend, just to try and get my eye in around that track with a slightly faster car than a GT3, and just to figure out where I can put it. Obviously, GT3 is going to have a bit more air on, a bit more brakes than the Fez, but the Fez has certainly got the speed on it. Supercars, another handful of cars on track there next week, and then Porsches, and then back here for Spa next weekend. But I think we've got at least a couple of us I know at least are going to have a crack at the VLN this weekend. So because Nurburgring 24 a few weeks ago was not enough, we're going to go and do another 4 hours of it.
Yeah, why not? Why not? If the time permits. Nothing else to do on a Saturday night, right?
Well, yeah, I'm busy Saturday because otherwise it would be the 5 o'clock session on Saturday afternoon. So I think it's going to be the Sunday morning at 10 o'clock.
Oh, you can have that all to yourself. I won't be awake at that time of the morning. I'm pleased to say. Go well, mate. Congratulations again. Good to see you out there. Good luck. It's a learning curve, this entire championship for these guys, learning with these cars. I guess the last question that I've got for you, and it's only just occurred to me that I didn't ask you because Yeaman didn't comment on it, but Rayhana certainly did, and Capel did as well. And there might have been one more. Thoughts on whether we should or shouldn't have a little bit of strategy play involved in these races? Yes, okay, I know there's a limitation regarding not being able to put fuel in the things, but would you recommend if there was to be a change in format round on round, just to try something to spice and liven it up a little bit, would you recommend a CPS for a tyre change?
I would think that if we could have, say, even if it was maybe one or not, maybe 2 or 3 of the remaining rounds as like a full 50-minute race, or however long the tank in these things last. I haven't actually done a full tank run to see how long the fuel actually lasts for.
About 50 minutes.
Okay, so if we did say a 45-minute run or a 40-minute run in one of these, you'd be then able to say, okay, well, you have to do a tyre stop, and it's going to be a matter of, okay, well, do you go absolute hell for leather at the start and burn the tyre off, make your stop, and hope that you can then save the tyre enough for the end, or do you conserve it and take the fresh tyre at the end and then go hell for leather and see what you can get out of it? But yeah, I think if we could get, say, maybe 2 of the remaining rounds to the end of the season as a full tank single race. I mean, depending on which track it is, it may not make for a good broadcast, but I'm sure you guys will be able to pick out the good battles here and there on the track, and it would certainly have a lot more on the strategy play to come to the fore on that one.
Indeed it would. Joe, as president, I mean, no doubt it seems as though it's going to be a topic of discussion whenever you guys next meet at committee level, but where would you sit on it?
I think CPS throws in just a bit of strategy. I think it's a great idea having a longer race. Obviously, Jackson said that this car probably lends itself well to a longer race, and I mean, it's always fluid. Like what we do is always fluid. We move around what we've done. God knows we did it with the NASCARs for 9 months, trying to keep people interested, keep it fair for all comers. I mean, look, I'm sure we can touch base with him whether or not he wants to change the format and run them longer. And I mean, obviously we can't refuel them, but yeah, there's probably nothing saying that we can't do a single 5. There's certainly not a close door discussion.
All right, very nicely done. I'll let you guys take that offline throughout the course of the next few days. Greg, firstly, thank you. Appreciate your efforts throughout the course of the evening. Thanks for hanging back and being last cab off the rank, but certainly not least. And Joe, before we wrap things up, final thoughts from you.
Look, this championship is going off. I think the Formula Fords probably took a backstage to these things tonight. That layout at the bend probably wasn't suitable. I guess it's probably the word.
That's it.
It's a new track. We got to learn. So we'll put it in memory banks. In that style of car, that track doesn't really suit, I guess. Whereas obviously last night where we ran the V's, incredible configuration for the V's, and I'm sure it would have been great in the the setup, the track that we ran tonight Ford would probably be good in a supercar, I think, by what I've seen. But I think these guys put on a fantastic race. A little unlucky for Marcus. I did see that one of his penalties 10 to 5 seconds, race one.
Okay.
Which is that's a bit of an update that but and Woodsy's was also channeled down to a safety point, so which is probably fair. But no, look, I think they're putting great racing at the moment, and it's no doubt going to continue next week. So yeah, look forward to Spa. I think this is a track that's really going to suit Spa. So
yeah, I think so too. 100%. We do it with thanks to those people scrolling across the bottom of your screen there, ladies. Thanks to them, as always. Without them, it's not possible into the 22nd season of the platforms of the Gentleman Sim Racing Club for us to do what we do. They, of course, include Waste Options, Trophy AI, Pantech Industries, Spreyton Cider, merch.tgsrci.com, and Flash Graphics. There's the schedule. That's what's coming your way. GTE at the Australian equivalent, motorsport equivalent of an outdoor clothesline. It's going to be fantastic. GTE at Winton. Would you believe it? Yeah, crazy cars at Winton. Yep, 32 laps, 8 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. Good luck to anybody that signs up for that. That sounds like torture. So, yes, we're off to Benalla, we're off to Kelly Country. That's a good thing it's in the virtual world as well, much like my feelings on the bend. Next week, and that's got nothing to do with the Shahins, by the way. Casa de Shahin, we've ticked our first box there with regards to visiting the bend this season. We'll be back later in the term, no doubt. Road America kicks us off in week 3 of term 3. The platforms of the Gentleman Sim Racing Club, Monday Night Motorsport, Waste Options, Mazda MX-5 Challenge from Road America. That'll be a beauty. 30 minutes of journey there. The first round of sprint racing for the GT3 series for this term as well from Virginia International. We'll bring in the AM race first and the Pro race second there on the back of the Pro-Am 90-minute Enduro to start week 2. So AM and Pro get their time in the limelight this coming week. That's from 8:30 Eastern Standard Time. Hope you can join us for that.
That one. Jim.
Joe's changing that on the fly, ladies and gentlemen. So yes, AM for race 1, Pro for race 2. Hope you can join us for that, for the 2 sprint races there. You're almost there, Trucker. You're on the way. You're halfway there, as Bon Jovi would say. Tuesday night Ferrari Challenge, Silverstone Circuit, 3 sprint races, 8:45 Eastern Standard Time. Wednesday night, there it is. There you go, Trucker. Well done. Let's go over the page. Wednesday night, the Gen 4 NASCARs. How are you enjoying this series so far, Trucker? I haven't had a chance to ask you about this yet.
Oh, look, I thoroughly enjoyed race week 1, but I had a personal issue on Wednesday night this week and didn't make it, which I was a bit frustrated by, but that's okay. They were at Pocono and it was a fantastic race. A little bit of incidents early on, but once they got the rhythm on, I think it turned out to be a good race. And they're a really difficult car, and I think the racing has been a lot better than what they were in the Arcas because they're harder to drive. People drive them more accordingly, I guess, within their skill level. They're very, very hard to drive outside of your skill level. They'll just away from you straight away. So blokes have been a little bit more restrained in this car, which has led to better racing.
Indeed. And Talladega, the venue on this coming Wednesday night, which will be an absolute beauty. So I hope you can join us for that.
200 plus mile
50
an hour.
laps
Let's go,
or 50 minutes. 50 laps or 50 minutes, whichever comes first. If the last trip to Talladega is anything to go by, it'll be a time certain affair. 7:30 Eastern. So I hope you can enjoy Dan Yeoman and Liam Banks for that one. Bit of a question mark over Dan Yeoman at the moment, but we'll see how we go. Road America follows 8:45 Eastern, 40-minute race there for the Supercar Championship, but thanks to Trophy AI, that is round 3 for their series. So some good correlation there between the Mazdas and the Supercars, both going to Road America next week. Thursday night, gentlemen. Greg, you might have to be on standby for Friday night, mate. I'm going to lose my voice Thursday night. Have a look at that for a bloody lineup, would you? Have a look at that, ladies and gentlemen. Last time we took Formula V to the Island, they were 5 wide into turn 1. Bring that on, please. Thursday night, 7:30 Eastern, the main course of Thursday Night Motorsport, the Formula V's You Beauty. Phillip Island Grand Prix Circuit, gateway to hypothermia, 3 sprint races there. And that is going to be a great way to start the evening. And then just to put the icing on the cake, dessert comes to you from Mount Panorama Bathurst and the 60-minute enduro round of the Porsche Cup. We're ticking that box nice and early this campaign as well from 8:45 Eastern Standard Time. Friday night, back to Phillip Island, in fact. So some correlation there between the Vs and the Fords next week. But actually, challenge accepted, right? Let's see if Formula Ford, right? Because people keep saying to me, oh, the Formula Fords are better than the Formula Vs, da-da-da-da-da. Time will tell, right? By this time next week, I'll have a definitive answer for you, boys, because we're going to get to compare them on the same real estate in the same week, right? Back-to-back nights, Formula Ford, 40 minutes the journey there. Yeah, okay, it'd probably be a bit fairer comparison if it was a sprint race, but trust me, they'll turn it on over 40 minutes there from 7:30 Eastern. And then if I've still got a voice after that, we're off to the Spa-Francorchamps circuit for Super Formula for 2 sprint races there. Pantech Industries Porsche Cup, Mount Panorama Bathurst, and Super Formula for Spreyton Cider Friday night from Spa. So 2 long circuits for the main course slot on Thursday and Friday to complement Phillip Island in the lead-in slot. So that is going to be the back half of the week is just, that's the stuff that you salivate for. That is just going to be mega top shelf bloody compulsory viewing. And if you're not here, we want your bloody absentee slip. We want your explanation as to why, ladies and gentlemen, because that is. Oh, that's the stuff of legend. There will be some
make sure you go past the chemist on the way home on Wednesday.
Correct. Yeah.
You're going to need some throw lollies.
I brought a brand new bloody pack of them last week. So I am on standby. I looked at that and I thought, hang on, I need to be prepared here. The honey's on the desks too. So a gargle of honey and a strepsil between races. It'll be fantastic. Dan Yeoman was good tonight. Cameron Dance as well. 2 wins for the Orbit stable. Again, continuing the stranglehold they've got so far on Super Formula. And, of course, we've now had 4 races and 4 different winners in the Formula Ford series as well. So for the second night in a row, we've had as many winners in as many races. Last night it was 5. Tonight it was 4. And we're firmly on our way in season 22 on the platforms of the Gentleman Sim Racing Club. Term 3 up and away. Week 2 of it is done. 20% of the complement over and done with. Good luck to anyone signing up for tomorrow night. Bring your Panadol with you. I think you're going to need it. GTE around the clothesline. Oh, geez, good luck. On behalf of Joe Baldwin, Greg Heaney, the entire broadcast commentary and production team here, thanks so much for your company. If you're in my neck of the woods in Ipswich, that storm that passed through earlier today is having a knock-on effect. There's already been some announcements made regarding sporting schedules being, amended, changed, cancelled, postponed, and things like that for the weekend. So keep an eye out on your social media accounts and stay in contact with your local governing bodies with regards to all of that. As far as real-world stuff is concerned, round 2 of the British Open continues. The Tour de France continues tonight into the early hours of tomorrow morning. Across the weekend, MotoGP from the Czech Republic, Brno circuit from Toronto in Canada. It's the Honda Indy Grand Prix for IndyCar. That's Monday morning. And NASCAR from Dover as well. Shane Van Gisbergen in something of a purple patch there in the United States right now. And, of course, don't forget, tomorrow night, 7 o'clock Eastern on Stand, 7:30 on 9, the first test. The British and Irish Lions are up against the Australian Wallabies, and we're looking forward to that from Suncorp Stadium. So, we're not as heavy on motorsport this weekend, but there's plenty of other great sport to whet the appetite in the meantime. Hope you enjoyed Friday Night Motorsport Night 5 of Week 2 for Term 3 of 2025, and we'll look forward to your company when Week 3 rather gets underway on Monday night from 7:25 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. The MX-5s from Road America and the GT3s from VIR. Until then, I'm Zach Coburn. Have a great weekend, everybody, and enjoy the rest of your Friday night. It's bye for now.